तयार्भकः मन्यमानो ऋषिकेशं स्मयमान उवाचः। चिन्तासन्तानहन्तारो यत्पादाम्बुजरेणवः स्वीयानां तान् निजाचार्यान् प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। यदनुग्रहतो जन्तुः सर्वदुःखातिगो भवेत् तमहं सर्वदा वन्दे श्रीमद्वल्लभनन्दनम्। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमामि हृदये शेषे लीलाक्षीराब्धिशायिनं लक्ष्मीसहस्रलीलाभिः सेव्यमानं कलानिधिं। चतुर्भिश्च त्रिभिस्तथा षड्भिर्विराजते योऽसौ पञ्चधा हृदये मम। श्रीकृष्णं परमानन्दं दशलीलायुतं सदा सर्वभक्तसमुद्धारे विस्फुरन्तं परं नुमः। नमो भगवते तस्मै कृष्णायाद्भुतकर्मणे रूपनाम विभेदेन जगत्क्रीडति यो यतः। बुद्धिप्रेरककृष्णस्य पादपद्मं प्रसीदतु ध्यानासमर्थजीवानाम् अस्माकं सर्वदा स्वतः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। श्रीमद्भागवताख्योऽयं प्रत्यक्षः कृष्ण एव हि स्वीकृतोऽसि मया नाथ मुक्त्यर्थं भवसागरे। मनोरथो मदीयोऽयं सफलः सर्वथा त्वया निर्विघ्नेनैव कर्तव्यो दासोऽहं तव केशव। शुकरूप प्रबोधज्ञ सर्वशास्त्रविशारद एतद्कथा प्रकाशेन मदज्ञानं विनाशय। नमोऽस्तु ते व्यास विशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः। श्रीकृष्णसमारम्भां वल्लभाचार्यवर्धिताम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्री गोवर्धननाथ की जय, श्री गिरिराज धरण की जय, श्याम सुंदर श्री यमुने महारानी जी की जय, श्री वल्लभाधीश की जय, श्री गुसाई जी परम दयाल की जय। There is an asur by the name Tripur, and his Katha has been mentioned in the 10th Adhyay. I'm hoping you have gathered your notebooks / notepad and pen, and you are sitting with an open mind. For all those who are engrossed in the match, there is an arrangement made for you. You can peacefully go out take a left, and over here there's a beautiful arena over there. One prime guest of this house is already waiting for you. Has been dying for some of you to give company as well. Feel free to figure out the streaming software by yourself. The Wi-Fi password can be given by the Bhatyas. And feel free to yell, scream, abuse, be anxious, be excited, whichever emotion and feeling you have. Feel free to express it over there. I am not going to take the courtesy of updating you like a flight attendant every 1 hour what is the score. Yes, yes?
Yes.
સારું પહેલા જ ક્લેરિફાઈ કરી દો નહીતર પાછા પૂછશે મને. ભગવન શ્રોતુમિચ્છામિ નૃણામ ધર્મ સનાતનમ વર્ણાશ્રમાચાર્યુતમ યત પુંવિદન્તે પરમ પુમાન વિંદતે પરમ. Why should you implement Dharma? That's Yudhishthir and Naradji having a conversation in the slide. The question is, why should you implement Dharma? I am in no rush. I am as per schedule. Even if I don't do Katha for the next 30 minutes, I'll ensure I'll reach to Krishna Janam. And that too without a Virar fast. So I'm at peace. Take your time. When you feel like answering, in other words, when you feel complete, please answer. Now some of you might wonder, you've already asked this question earlier. Why are you asking this question again? મારો મૂડ છે તો પૂછીશ. તમારો મૂડ હોય તો જવાબ આપજો. બોલો. Why should you do Dharma? છેલ્લા 3 દિવસથી શું કરું છું? What is the first day definition that I give you of Dharma? કાલનું આઈસ્ક્રીમ કયો છો એ યાદ નથી. મને યાદ છે. ગન્નાનો રસ લીંબુવાળો. Without worrying for the definition that I give you, whatever understanding Dharma, with your definition of Dharma, એવું તો નથી ને કે મેં ડેફિનેશન લીધી નથી અને એના વગર તમારું નથી. World existed even before I said it. Your world is going to exist even if after say it. And at the end of the day, it's not necessary that you are going to do what I ask you to do. Even if you do it for temporary basis, maybe 5 days later, you are only going to do what you want to do. Comes from a root cause of a Hindi principle. Suno sabki karo. I didn't say it. You said it. So, without my definition, which I'll cover for my dear friend Jayesh Bhai sometime from now, but without my definition as well, why do you do Dharma? To stay grounded, kone sudharva? Karma sudharva. Okay, sure. Dharma provides a framework. So you do Dharma so that it guides you. You do your Dharma to do?
to know when to cut off. To know right.
Quoting me only. Shatir? Fair. Please. It's a purpose of life. Very, I mean, deep, very deep, I must say. Where's Dveta, right? Dveta, at your age, what's your purpose of life? What's your duty at your age? Score marks? Of course, you have a mother who is a class teacher. I understand. Then? But that's it. Your existence is only dependent on scoring marks. Bapre. What is this? Fair, makes sense. Explore your options of the future. Very good. What else? That's it. 2 duties only. There are no other duties that you have. Be as unfiltered as you want to be. No one's going to judge you here. And sorry to put you on a spot. Sure. And do you have any responsibility as an elder sister? That means will you forget it or will you remember it? Do you have a responsibility as a daughter? Okay. Do you have responsibility as a student? Do you have responsibility as a friend? And when were you planned to list all these? So let's shift the burden of questions to Tanushri. Tanushri, what's your duty and responsibility these days, apart from the YouTube live that you do? Work. Define your work in social media. Fantastic. Family. So responsible to parents. No, not answerable towards parents. Answerable, but not responsible. Responsible is that. Achha. Okay, giving back to them, sure. End of day, no other roles and responsibilities. Family and work as of now. Okay.
We need to give back who has given us about how to
Our Bharatiya values at least makes us make you feel like you have to give back to the ones who got you in this world. Fair. तो मैं सांभळसू प्रेमથી सांभळसू. Sure. Self-improvement via Dharma. Self-improvement via Dharma. Fair point. Path to spirituality. Sure. Yeah, please. Following the truth. Sure. Sure. We'll expand on that point in some time from now. Fair, I agree. It kind of draws a roadmap for you, becomes a guiding force, helps you make better decisions, and yeah, Dharma helps you at every stage in life. Fair, makes sense. the reasons that you gave, do they justify why are you implementing Dharma?
Yes.
Are these the only reasons why you are implementing Dharma?
Who will decide what is right and what is wrong?
Who will decide what is right and what is wrong? I'm assuming that's a question for me.
For me also.
For you as well, okay. Sure.
Way of life. It's a way of life.
Okay, so you are now telling me what is Dharma. I'm asking you, why are you implementing Dharma?
So you have to, like, being born into this world means you have dharma.
Being born into this world means you have Dharma. Okay. Hmm?
We should implement Dharma because of peace.
We should implement Dharma because of peace. Okay.
Dharma feels us.
Dharma feels us. क्या बात है, मजा आ गया. Any other thought? Gives you like the right direction.
Dharma gives us responsibility for everything.
Dharma gives us responsibility for everyone.
It helps us to go back to our roots.
Helps us to go back to our roots. Yesterday, so I'll consider this one question: who guides us what is right and what is wrong? Let's put aside for a couple of minutes. Let's more than the word biased, I would like to say let's not get influenced by dharma. Okay. Let's say you are a neutral identity. You have no affinity towards any Devi or Devta, but you don't have any hatred as well. You're an extremely neutral person. Now, assume one soul is born in a non-Hindu family. Now, use cases, that person can be born in an Emirati family, in an Arab family, could be born in Lebanon, Sudan, any of these countries. I'm certain the family that they are born in will have an impact on them. I'm certain that the friends that they have will have an impact on them. And I'm certain that the political environment of that particular place will also have an impact on them. And considering the globalization that's going in, the TikTok making a move in the world, I'm certain even TikTok and Instagram will have quite some good amount of impact on a person's growth, upbringing, growth, whichever direction that you want to go to. Now, let's talk about practices which are not with us and the practices that the others have. Let's say if that person is born in any of these countries, what is the one guiding scripture that they might have which will be instilled in them as values?
That's very religious based, not depending on community or family or that.
So let's say if you are born in a non-Hindu family, what are your chances? Let's say, what if you're born in an Emirati family or an Arab family? What is going to be instilled in you?
Quran.
I'm assuming it's the Quran. Are there any other scriptures? They might have, Hadith is being one of them. And then, I mean, if we go on deeper and deeper, it also becomes contextual as to which land you are from. So, if you are in India, then some Indian origin based thinkers also create an impact. If you are an Arab, XYZ would happen. And if you go to Africa, accordingly it implements. If you go to France, accordingly it implements. Let's go to the slightly more on the western side. Let's go Europe. Let's go US. Let's say you're now born into a non-Hindu family and you're born in a family where either atheism is being followed or Christianity is being followed. So when Christianity is being followed somewhere, what's the primary thing that you learn as a scripture? Let's say if you're a hardcore Catholic person, I'm assuming Bible is what they instill. Now the question comes, what to do with an atheist? What to do with an atheist? Where is atheist going to learn principles of life? Science, family, society. I'm getting answers from you, but I'm not getting strong answers from you. All of you are right now like trying to hit and thinking that hopefully it hits the bullseye. Because when we talk about at least a particular religion, you have a boundary. And when it comes to atheists, there's no boundary. Now what happens in this situation? Primarily, a person becomes a spiritual shopper. Do you know what is spiritual shopping? For people who don't know what is spiritual shopping, આજે હું ગમ્યો કાલે બીજું ગમ્યું, ત્રીજા દિવસે ત્રીજું ગમ્યું, 7 દિવસમાં 7 ગમ્યા. You like one today, you like 2 tomorrow, you like the third one day after, and that's how you keep on hop, skip, jump. It's like coming to Mumbai and trying different vada pavs from different places and then deciding what is good for me. What happens in this case? I'm sure there are merits to it. Merits are new perspective every time, upgraded knowledge, XYZ, 10,000 other things. People find more contextual solutions, blah, blah, blah. But what's the downside of it?
Confused.
It's like making a pasta and a khichdi together. Now, some might say there's no harm in it. Good for you. But I'm not the one who wants to eat it. So keep your pasta and khichdi with you. Am I against spiritual shopping? No. Spiritual shopping needs to be done. More than spiritual shopping, a bird's view can be appreciated when you have a set belief of core principles, practices, rituals, and belief system in place. For example, when I'm particularly talking now about family like mine, when we are brought up in an environment, we have been given our boundary, and at the same time, we've been given liberty to explore. Even if you cross that boundary, you're not supposed to do any horrendous crime which goes beyond repair or which starts hurting your guilt or conscience. Still explore the world and come back. In other words, we learn our own system first. Establish our system in our daily life. Upgrade it as and when our age enhances. More enhancement of the age, more challenges that come by, more complexities in life increases, more amount of dharma that we know makes it easier for us to make decisions. Does Dharma give contradictory answers? Yes. But again, those contradictory answers are dependent on situations. It's purely situational in nature. Why am I sharing this entire story with you? Why am I creating this entire build-up for you to understand the value of having that one system in the house? Once one system is established in the house, there has to be a handover process. When I was talking to Ekadashi, she told me it's only when my mother comes, I get some guidance in Seva. Ideally speaking, if we are brought up in an environment which has those practices in place, and the earlier we get them, the easier it becomes for us to adapt. That doesn't mean that you at your age cannot be a part of that system, just like a newbie. There was this one thought, and most of the times people feel emotional when we ask them to discontinue their previous practices. It feels emotionally hurting to them stating कि हमारा बाप दादा करता था. Our ancestors used to do this. And when someone tries to rightfully guide them and gives them a direction as per the Shastra, they feel a little aback stating, oh, I am kind of going to piss off my ancestors who has done this over the period of years. And that sense of fear continuously stays. We are that segment of people who are ready to understand technology, adapt it, use it. Why? Because we know the outcome. But we are the same generation. If we ask you to make a small religious change or a small spiritual change in your life, બે હાથ આમ રાખીને પૂછ્યો કેમ? And then I have to justify to you. I hope you are now getting a slight tinge of where do I come from. Now the ball is in your court. Whether you want to explore 10 different places and then learn all 10, or first learn what is there for you in your own community, in your own family, in your own belief, in your heritage, in your legacy, and then go and explore what is there outside. And mind you, the handover will only happen when two people talk in the house. It's layer 1 and layer 2. Layer 1 has to come a step down and layer 2 has to step 1 level up. Most of the houses, Arjun Ji is mentioning in Bhagavad Gita then, when too many ethnicities get involved in a house, people have a question mark which dharma to implement. I like one statement, the dharma is of the family, the person who comes in has to blend in. Until as the person is a devotee out of scope altogether and has the capacity to change everyone in the house, be it so then. And in our Vaishnavism it is said this, બીજાને વૈષ્ણવ કરે તો સાચો વૈષ્ણવ જાણ. If you are a Vaishnav and make someone else a Vaishnav, only then you are a true Vaishnav. Otherwise you are bogus. Your lifestyle should be inspiring enough for someone else to also implement those principles. Now you need a reason why you want to do dharma. I'll give you 3 reasons why you should do dharma. The first reason for you to do dharma is because you have got this body, and this body has got certain roles and responsibilities. Primarily, your biological responsibilities of your family members, which also includes earning money for them. The second layer of responsibility is more societal and more external in nature, stating that if I have been given the capacity and I have the might in me, I would like to help people beyond my reach as well. This includes all the maids in our house as well, if you don't treat them as family. And then comes over and above, there's one dharma of your soul, and which is called the Atma Dharma. Until now, the dharma that we were talking about is the Deha Dharma. Deha Dharma, dharma is of your body. Atma Dharma is for your soul. By doing this activity, the soul is feeling relished. There's a sense of accomplishment in the soul. Your intuition is feeling extremely positive, not powerful, positive. And it commits you to wake up every day in the morning and to do the same practice. Now, all those people who claim that I would like to walk on the path of spirituality without a ritual, let me tell you one thing. Sit and meditate for 6 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, and if you feel that's not a ritual, probably you haven't understood the meaning of spirituality. You cannot be a spiritual person without having a ritual in place. Even if you claim that I am spiritual by thought, it has to be implemented in a ritualistic format on a consistent basis. It doesn't matter if it is Krishna Seva via devotion, or whether may it be yoga by you sitting for 6 hours of meditation, or maybe you do a form of yagna on a daily basis. I'm having this entire conversation with you so that you take this topic of dharma seriously and stop relating it with the concept of religion, and understand that right from waking up in the morning till sleeping at night, you are doing dharma. How are you doing dharma? Let me give you a daily lifestyle of yours. As soon as you wake up, the first thing that you do is look at your hands and pray to your hands, stating Karagre vasate Lakshmi Karamule Saraswati Karamadhye tu Govindam Prabhate Karadarshanam. This is where all the devotees, this is where all the Devi Devtas reside. The next thing that you are doing just before you touch your feet to the ground, Samudra Vasane Devi Parvatastana Mandite Vishnu Patni Namastubhyam Padasparsham Kshamasvame. You're seeking for forgiveness on the bhumi because you're walking on it. You feel earth doesn't deserve compassion or what? Bhumi has been going in the form of a cow multiple times in Śrīmad Bhāgavata. I think by this time we have understood. And mind you, if you go to South India, you will realize Bhumi is considered to be the wife of Vishnu. Along with Lakshmi Ji, you will find Bhumi Devi as well. Then the next thing that you do is go and freshen up yourself. While freshening up as well, you are seeking forgiveness to Varaha Bhagavan, because Varaha was the one to get the earth out of the water. So while you go and excrete yourself, that excretion is going somewhere. It's creating impurity somewhere. Where it's being dumped, it's being dumped somewhere. It has to be processed somewhere. For use of the brushing, we back in the days had vanaspatis. We used to use vanaspati to clean our mouth, to clean our teeth, in order to have a fresh smell. For that as well, we had a shlok. While bathing as well, we were not listening to Bollywood songs and merely dancing in the washrooms or being bathroom singers. We used to recite Gange cha Yamune chaiva Godavari Saraswati Kaveri Narmade Sindhu Jalesmin Samnidim Guru. For all those people who couldn't go to Prayag, There is a slok for that as well. If you recite that slok and do the snan, it's equivalent to a kumbha snan. If you are a Vaishnav, you will come out, you will probably take Charanamrut, you will recite Grundami Gokuladisha Charanamrutam Adarat, Atas Tat Sevana Siddhe Mai Dine Krupam Guru. Probably you will do a tilak. You will touch your kanthi and do pranam to it. And for people who have the first habit of going and doing your part, you will sit, do Chinta Santana Antaro, do Namami Yamuna Maham, do Sarvottam Sottam, Ananda Paramananda Shri Krishna Sim Kripanidhi. Go to your kitchen, probably make a tea for yourself so that your inner self awakens. Only your external self has been awakened till now. Inner self will only awaken when the cha comes into the picture. And the cha is to aaj Mahabharat ka hi. This is all a part of your Deha Dharma. This is all a part of your Deha, Sharira. Sharira has to do all of these things. These are called Sanskruti. These are called Sanskar of your own body. Tell me one thing. Does dressing up improve your psychological approach towards certain things? Self-esteem? Bharatiya Dharma Shastra, we never had an option of not dressing up nicely in the morning. As beautiful as you are right now is the same beauty that every Indian woman carried back in the days. आंखें अंजन, माथे गजरो, माथे कुमकुम, होठ पर लालाश, कुमकुमनी हथेली, पायलनी छमछम. This is the beauty of an Indian woman. This is the beauty of a Bharatiya woman. And now some Western cameras and concepts will come and tell you everyone is beautiful. Oh, it doesn't work that way. Most of the people, when they wake up, they are always in a rush. Half the time when we go in front of Thakurji, Thakurji wouldn't even feel like looking at you. And Thakurji would be wondering, "Kaun sawar sawar ma aavi ude?" And by the way, Savarthi, I realize one thing. How many of you will go to Nathdwara without taking a bath in the morning in Mangla Darshan? કોઈ કરશો ને બોલશે નહીં, મારું મોઢું જોઈને ના બોલી દેશે. Next time don't do it. Will it be okay if I come to you in the morning without a bath and I'm doing this? Good morning. That's exactly how you look in front of Thakurji when you go to Mangla. Half the people are yawning over there. And what do people want? Brush કરીને જઈએ, ચાલે ઓલા પૌવા ખાવાના છે. Can you enter a mosque without washing your legs? Can you enter a Gurudwara without wearing something on your head? તો આ શું પિકનિક સ્પોટ છે નાથદ્વારાનું મંદિર? હા, તમે શું પૌવા ખાવા જાઓ છો ત્યાં? I saw a lot of people going in Kumbh as well. Morning, woke up, let's go to Kumbh. What do you mean by go to Kumbh? Have your shower and then go to Kumbh. A Nadi Snan is never supposed to be done without taking a bath. You are supposed to go in a Shuddha Avastha. And that's what I'm going to speak about for the next 10-15 minutes. I'm only dealing with something called as the Dharma of your body. And one of that Dharma is called Shaucha. Shaucha refers to purity. Now, a lot of people have this concern. Why these Pushtimariya people are so chikana? Why do you make us wash hands so many times? What is wrong? Are we achuts or what? Are we untouchable people or what? It's not about you being untouchable. Now I'll help you understand how Vedic lifestyle functions. For anyone who might have done a puja on a daily basis, or whenever there is an occasion in your house, when you do a puja, your Panditji might make you do the Abhishek of the Devi or a Devata. Then might request you to take one flower from it, might request you to smell it, might request you to drop it. After that, they will expect you to wash hands. Why? Ithadhaya. There are two terms that you need to understand, Uchishtha and Jushta. The first word is Jushta. What is Jushta? Jushta in your Hindi language is called Jutha. What is Jutha? Something that is? Something that is not pure? Sure. Something that has touched your? Primarily. Now, for our convenience, we became more civilized. Instead of having rice with our own hands, we started having with a spoon. So your hands are clean. Now you use that spoon. Now that hand is so-called clean according to you. You go and shake hands with 10 people. Hand was clean, no? It was clean for your appearances. Was it Shuddha? Hasta ki Shuddhi happens when you wash hands. Simple. My thali is my Jushta. You using your wet vessel while serving in my thali, if your vessel touches my vessel, that entire bowl is mine then. Forcefully I have to complete that thing. I can't serve it to anyone else. For all those people who have a habit of sharing food, let me tell you one thing. When you share food, you share your karma. ખાજો હવે જેને આઈઠા ખાવા હોય તમને. And in that some more logical people come. But we are husbands and wife. Oh hello, you are husband and wife. ચોથો ફેરો સાથે લીધો કે અલગ અલગ આગળ પાછળ લીધેલો? મોક્ષમાં તમે લોકો સાથે છો કે અલગ અલગ છો? કે સતી બનીને જવાના છો? You've taken 4 feras, na? For people who have done Lagan, you have done 4 feras, right? In the 4th fera, who was ahead? अरे मारा નથી ત્યાં મને નથી ખબર તમે લોકો જ કયો. Who was ahead? The lady was ahead, na? Why was the lady ahead? In Dharma Artha Karya, Purush was ahead. What happens in the 4th one? In the Moksha one, you both are not party to the same transaction. You do you, I do mine. Though you do Dharma, I am party to it. But in Moksha, we both are not the same party. એવું કરી લેશે ચિંતા નહીં. Now you know why we Pushti Marga people are so chikna. We make you wash hands multiple times. We touch our lips, we'll make you wash hands. You touch our plates, we'll make you wash hands. You touch something which is prasadi, we'll make you wash hands. You touch something which is non-samagri, we'll make you wash hands. You touch someone else's body part, we'll still make you wash hands. We like to be in Shuddha Avastha. Shuddha Avastha in that sense that I may get work for Thakurji at any given point of time. At that time, I don't want to be in a Ashuddha stage. This is situation number 1. I'll give you situation number 2. Now what is Uchishtha? That was Jushta. Jushta refers to something Jutha. Uchishtha refers to what is left over in the plate. Uchishtha refers to something that is left over in the plate. There are only limited people's Uchishtha that you can have. And medically speaking now, since you are talking about hygiene, I see tissue papers left, right and center being used everywhere. You shouldn't be doing that at all. And for kids, for parents who have kids till the age of 5, do whatever you want to. Post 5, you better make sure your kid eats his own food or her own food. Stop pampering them. ફટકારીને આપી દેજો એક ચૂપચાપ જમવા માટે. Stop going against those new age principles of the Western culture stating, oh no, I cannot touch my children. As much as Lalan has happened of Thakurji, Tadan has also happened of Thakurji. That doesn't mean you create a sense of fear. My psychologist friend is now going to attack me when I meet him outside. All I'm trying to say is that a parent's responsibility is also to be a protective figure and sometimes an authoritative figure as well. Doesn't mean that the kid starts doing tandav on your own head. This entire process that I'm teaching you is a part of Shishtachar. In your modern language, it's called etiquettes. ચોચલા સૂપનો ચમચો અલગ ને સબ્જીનો ચમચો અલગ ને આઈસ્ક્રીમનો ચમચો અલગ. Yeah, people paying thousands and thousands of dirhams and dollars and rupees just to know what to eat, how to eat, when to eat, what kind of way they're supposed to sit, how are they supposed to sit. Hey, study Sanatan Dharma, man. You want to talk about table manners? When tables didn't even exist, now my Śrīmad ji 550 years ago did have table. You go to fancy South Indian restaurants to know the flow of food. Come to Pushti Marg, I'll teach you how the food needs to be served. In what order the food is being served. What is the logical flow and combination of serving food. How liquid items are put together, how solid items are put together. How roti is on one side, how sabzi is on the other side. How achar and namak and mirchi is on one side and how papad is on the other side. Just a couple of days from now, we'll listen to Ram Leela. I'll speak more about it at that point of time. The Shaucha topic now makes the other side of me come out.
Can you tell why you said karma we are sharing?
Yeah. It's very simple. When there's a reason of a thali, the thali itself is a boundary. This is your space. This is your right. When you share something out of that right and give it to someone else, it's like giving your own thought. Now, there are two cultures. One is of this particular affinity where the city that we are in, and the culture that people come from over here. And the other one is slightly on the Rajasthan side, where people have a habit of eating from one plate. Do you know why do people eat, at least on this part of the land, from one plate? The brothers used to poison them if they were in different plates. And they had zero trust. That's why they started eating biryanis from the same plate. You can find enough historical evidences. It's not a love act. It's a khud ki jaan bachao act.
Jagannath, they make you share food. They also, they say it's okay to eat any of that.
We wouldn't do it. Don't do it.
That's another philosophy.
We shouldn't implement it.
Giving the food from one plate to another plate.
Do it before you start eating. If you're not comfortable with any item, just call the person who served you, ask them to take it back or make it arrangement for the other person to eat. That's what used to happen back in the days when we used to sit in Pangat. Buffet system is just beyond my understanding. The same hands you eat is the same hand you take the food and serve it in your own plates. Hello? Jhootha Pro Max. I like those traditional methods where, a series of 20 people are sitting and at least family members can talk to them. Literally family members can talk to them. Because while serving is only when you get the maximum chance to talk to someone. પછી આખા ગામની પંચાયત કરો ને ત્યાં who's stopping you? We think we have become civilized. I'm sorry to say this. We've gone equally opposite of what your Dharma stands for. You want to claim practicality? I'm not sure about how it functions in the city of Dubai, but I have seen enough places in India where people have also made these changes. They're moving away from buffets. And mind you, waste of food. Buffet is a waste of food. You take up something in excitement, don't land up eating it, lands up throwing away. Good amount of wastage of food happens in buffets. And where is our consideration towards food? On one side, we claim that people are dying out of hunger, and on the other side, who has given us the right to throw food? Now, I'll talk to you something more sustainable in nature. Until last 25 years, Pushtimar had the practice of eating in pattal and dona. Do you know what's a pattal? Plate made out of leaves. Do you know what's a dona? Again, a bowl made out of leaves. You want to talk about biodegradable waste? Absolutely biodegradable waste. And it saves water. FYI. Definitely saves water. Why? Because you don't have to wash so many utensils. You only have to wash utensils that have been used for cooking, not for eating. I'm not saying the new age is wrong. I'm saying that there are certain principles and values and core identities which are not aligning with what you used to do. Am I cribbing about water in front of you? I'm practical over here. I understand the water is only come from tap. Am I asking you like your great grandfather's or great grandmother's name? Moko to kuwa koi pani chahiye, kuwa koi pani chahiye. No. Without a kuwa, most of the people would have gone mad back in the time. हमारी अपरस नहीं होवे, हमारी अपरस नहीं होवे. Am I crying about it? No, I'm practical about it. But there are enough places where people say, oh, this is not practical. Oh, hello, this is practical. There's a reason why am I called modern monk. I've practically lived it, and that's why I have the authority to say, no, you can do it. And it's not that difficult. Now, I'll go one step forward in shouts. You might have seen us doing a lot of pota half the time, cleaning a particular place. Now, there's a thought behind that as well. We had 3 types of cuisines being made. The first one was known as Dudgar. Dudgar refers to the samagri which is made out of milk. The second one was Ansakdi. Ansakdi refers to samagri which may be made of oil but doesn't have salt in it. And the third one had water, salt and oil in it, which is called Sakdi. Now, since you all have expertise in the area of kitchen, tell me which food item over here deteriorates faster? Dudgar, Ansakdi or Sakdi? Dudgar followed by Sakdi, followed by Ansakdi. Dudgar will deteriorate faster, hence it requires lesser water, hence the potu used to happen only once. After you eat Dudgar, you only need to do pota once, that's it. Washing of hands as well also was just one time. Just wash your hands one time with little water and you are done, if you're going to use Dudgar again. The maximum amount of time which needed was Sakdi. Sakdi had the maximum amount of quantum, and hence it had the maximum amount of potas. Pocha is cleaning of a particular place where you're going to sit to eat, and after you're done eating as well. Now what happened? Okay, we find this table to be clean, we just dust it off and we think we are good to go. It doesn't work that way. You don't know who has sat before you, you don't know what kind of impression that they had. There's a reason why elders even used to carry something called as asan. Do you know what's an asan? Why should I let my energy be given to someone else? I'll rather sit on an asana. That energy stays with me. This is the reason why people carried asanas. And for all those people who practice yoga, tell me one thing, don't they appreciate you sitting at a particular place at a particular time on a consistent basis to create a habit out of you? They don't appreciate you changing your time of your yoga practices or maybe even your asana. Till that extent that even if you might have got one jap mala, until unless that jap mala is not worn out, they don't ask you to change your jap mala. Why? Because the jap mala also starts getting a lot of power in it. And here's where I'm going to introduce you towards certain thoughts of. I just have titles, I don't have pictures under it, I don't have any explanations for you. I just want to talk about certain 15 characteristics. See if you can build them in yourself and see if you can embody them. I'm not saying you'll probably become Bill Gates of the world, I'm not saying you'll become Amazons of the world, but I'm certain about one thing, you'll become better human beings for sure. I'm here to make devotees. I'm not here to make business experts. You want to be a business expert, go to Jayesh. The first thing as a human being, if you can implement, is being true. Now, some people have a problem. मैं जब सच बोलता हूँ, सच के सिवाय कुछ नहीं बोलता हूँ, तो किसी और को बुरा लग जाता है. The Shastra gives you an understanding of saying the same truth but in a presentable way, not necessarily sugar coated. A lot of times people want to hear the truth, but the way they understand more is the way you speak. Say the truth, there's no harm in that. Say the truth in a nicer way, which won't hurt other person's sentiments, and don't say the lie for sure. And now people will come and test me, but what if a cow goes, should you be saying the truth, should you be saying the lie? If a cow is going and someone is going to kill that cow, of course at that time you're not supposed to say the truth. So as I said, Dharma will have situations. But remember one thing, your inner self is definitely observing you. Now some people might say in business we have to lie. I want to make a statement. If you understand it, good for you. If you don't understand it, sleep over it. There is no harm in protecting the desired money that you need to earn. But there's definitely harm in the desired money that you think is going to be classified as a greed. There's a fine line between profit and greed. The earlier you realize, the faster you will be able to live this principle. If you haven't understood this statement, this video is available on YouTube. Go to Pushtira's YouTube channel, find this video, listen to this statement, sleep over it, speak with me tomorrow. What's your son's name? He had a fantastic question. I help someone, I do my karma. That person has a bad intention and harms others. Did I do the right thing or not? Will that karma bite back to me or not? What answer would you give it to him?
If we know the intention, then we are also sharing it out.
If we know the intention, then definitely it's a problem. At first, if we didn't know the intention and we still helped them, maybe you're forgiven once because you had no idea about it. But if a similar situation comes in your life again, and you'll end up helping someone who could possibly turn out to be a future problem, stay safe, don't try this. Don't try to help them. But you will only know once you help them. So at first, help them. But if you see similar traits and your intuition stops you, don't do it next time.
Now question. My intention is good. I do it with good intention. But the other person takes it in a bad way. Is that Dharma for me? Because my intention is pure. How people take it or how the other person takes it.
When a lion's walk, dog barks, dog barks. Let the lion walk. The lion is going to be majestic only. Not going to get affected because dogs are barking. The second thing that you can inculcate is called compassion. So have mercy, my friend. Do help them out. Have compassion. Anyone who is angry, now just give them a glass of water. Have compassion for them as well. In our sampradaya, Girish Bhai will agree to this. We had an acharya, if you would get angry, he would say, Toku Chandal ko swarup bhayo hai. That means you look like a Chandal, go take a bath and come back. Anger is such that you can get out of your own self. The simplest thing to do is just go to the washroom, take a bath and come back. Scientifically proven. Now what do you do when you can't take a bath? Just take a thandi pani in bottle, just shower it on your and see a different side of you. And one of ISKCON's so-called learned scholar has given one very good mantra. It's called Om Ignoraya Namaha. Implement it if you want to. ઇંગ્લિશમાં મંત્રો બનશે થોડા ટાઈમમાં. Do you all know what is tomorrow? Thank you. I am certain we can't do tapa, but our tapa is in the form of Ekadashi. Now the question comes, how this Ekadashi needs to be. General tendency of us on Ekadashi is we'll end up eating more times in comparison to normal days. Because it's Agyar Ras. એટલે double ખાશું. And then there are bum dhadakas everywhere. Vayu problems. It's a fact. It's a fact. Vayudeva namastubhyam. And while that is happening, we lost the essence of why we used to do Ekadashi. Now, scientifically speaking, Utsi, are you here? Hear me out now. Full moon and new moon. I'm assuming you all know this concept. The 11th day of the month, whether in the Shukla or the Krishna Paksh, which is the full moon cycle or the new moon cycle, the 11th day is the day when moon has a high impact on two places. A, mind, B, stomach. Second, the day of Ekadashi went to Vishnu stating, no one is accepting me. Vishnu said, I'll accept you. And hence all Ekadashis are 99% named after, all Ekadashis are actually named after Bhagavan, one of the other, Leela or any of the story that might have happened. So whenever an Ekadashi comes, generally people feel we have to cook too much. The original Siddhant of Ekadashi was not to consume anything. Now Jain people keep on laughing at us, hey, tamara upvasma to khawanu hoy. It's actually not true. Ekadashi was meant to be the day when you're not supposed to eat anything. If you read the scriptures, no, the Falahar also came later on. It was Nakoda. No food, no water. Then came the option of water, and then came the option of fruits, and then came the others. Rajagran Shiron, Rajagran Purin, Rajagran And now the even idli has started. Dhokla has started. By chance you go to Manek Chowk, they'll even give you Faradni sandwich. They give you pineapple sandwich. Stay safe, don't try this. Humble request. I've already spoken enough about Shaucha. I want to lead you towards this place called as Titiksha. Titiksha refers to Sahishnutta. Sahishnutta refers to your body is fine-tuned enough to face cold, heat, rains, anything. Ignore the R, it's T. Whichever season is there, you can bear it. Fine-tune your body that way. I'm a little worried at least your city is blessed with sports. At least this Ishan can go and play sports. C has played sports. Adi has played sports earlier. I heard about these two beautiful kids also playing sports. Is that your daughter? Does she play sports? What does she play? Fantastic. At least you're blessed with sports. My city has become a dump yard. We don't have any sports area anymore. We used to play at weird places and places. Our balls used to go in whichever gutters that they did. You might feel downtrodden for us, but we enjoyed. We had the time of our life. We hit on roads, we hit in parks, we broke mirrors, we broke windows and whatnot. But if I look at the future generation, everyone is either on mobile phone or PS5s, hardly any time for sports, zero social interaction. I'm not even sure how are they going to make friends anymore. But playing sports made us realize that, hey, whatever may be the situation, you have to accept it and you have to embrace it. It developed a sense of Sahishnutta in us. Why? Because summer is the maximum time. You have to face that summer in order to play. How would you play cricket otherwise? And the new age mothers be like, oh, play in the shadow. Or who play in the shadow? Vitamin D કાકા દેવાવાના છે. You are rough and tight because you are the ones who had maximum exposure of the sun. And you can ask Pandits, if you want arogya, that means if you want health, you have to get exposed towards sun. Arogyam Bhaskarah, શું છે? હા. And if you feel I'm joking, go speak with any astrologer. If they tell you the same situation, good for me, good for you. Implement it. And the sixth one that I'm going to explain you now is a ball changer. It's a game changer. Thinking what is appropriate and what is inappropriate. And this is where maximum people fight. Iksha. Because our definition of appropriate is dependent on our perception of things, our experiences, our backlog. The entire ahankar of us comes out because of this inappropriate and inappropriate. If all of us read a common scripture now, it's like following the constitution. Like all of us know in Dubai, if you break a signal, the fine is X. If you do it X number of times, your driving license is going to be cancelled. If you do any damage to the metro, probably you are even disbarred and there's a hefty fine on you and they might process you, etc., etc. Why? Because the constitution is in place and we've read the law. In our case, we haven't read the law. We never bothered to open our scriptures. We always said, oh, there's a linguistic barrier. Other religions don't complain about linguistic barriers. African countries also implement it. Till that extent that I've even seen they creating Jesus black. If you will see any Colombian documentary series, you will realize over there Jesus has been shown Spanish. I'm not saying go in this horrendous space and make Krishna Italian and Arab. क्या बोला हमारा friend? Pushti Arab. I'm not asking you to cross those morality grounds and lines. But don't blame linguistics to be one of the reasons why you can't understand Dharma. If your chat GPT can answer most of these questions, you can find enough books on the internet to even nurture this thought process. If you find this point a little tough one to implement, the next one is going to be Shama. And there's a twin to it which is called as Dhamma. What is Sham and what is Dham? Sham is winning your inner senses. Dhamma is winning your outer senses. Do you know what is inner senses and outer senses? Krishna Janamni Tayyari se, don't worry. We've already got the news. He's giving an indication. Katha jaldi fast karo thodi. I'm listening to it, don't worry. I've heard it, loud and clear. Message received, baby. Thank you. Winning your inner senses, winning your outer senses is going to be extremely crucial. And if you're asking me for a shortcut, there is none. Practice. If you are someone who likes 10 gulab jamun, reduce it by 1, reduce it by 2, reduce it by 3, reduce it by 4. That's the only way forward. And there's one thing that Dharma has mentioned, which I like to tell you openly and frankly over here. If you have this sharir, you'll be able to do Dharma. Don't have this sharir, won't be able to do Dharma. You need motivation to take care of this sharir. Have this sharir, do the Dharma. And if that also doesn't bother you, just question yourself. Will you be as healthy as your parents at their age? And if this doesn't frighten you, I don't know what should frighten you. We're going to talk about the topic called as Ahimsa. A grossly misinterpreted Siddhant called as Ahimsa, where people feel when someone hits you, you should take forward your second cheek in front of them and give it to them. I read Mahabharata specifically to find this particular shlok. It happened so that Ahimsa Paramo Dharmaha is a principle which is propounded in Mahabharata with a perspective of not killing someone for consumption. Now some of you might say, you say this, but there are enough communities in the Indian origin as well. For example, there could be Kokanastha Brahmins or Bengali Brahmins who have a ritual in their houses to eat a fish, and that is only being done after killing it. Let me tell you one thing. There are various prakritis of a human being as well. For someone who has an affinity towards a non-vegetarian based diet, they are primarily of a tamas prakriti. Then some people might argue, but there was a devotee who unknowingly even offered meat to Shiva and Shiva accepted it. That was a use case example that you shouldn't be doing it. Now you will come up with a illogical argument. Oh, this is the case of non-vegetarian, but you see a lot of Ma Kali and all these temples where liquor is also being served. Again, I'll lead you back to the same conversation. Do you want to be the tamas prakriti jiva? We are dealing with Bhagavan who is sattvic. We are dealing with Bhagavan who is beyond such negative areas altogether. So be mindful about what's going in your body. And mind you, Ahimsa Paramo Dharma stops over there. I understand you're not supposed to hurt anyone. You're not supposed to give you shouldn't be mistreating someone unnecessarily. But when someone starts hampering your dharma, na, be wise enough to stand and give answers. And even take action if needed. बहुत सीरियस था क्या बता. And last but not the least, I'll tell you a brahmacharya one. Let there be days in your life where you are not pouncing only on your desires. Let there be days in your life where you are only with your own self. Let there be days in your life where you are pursuing brahmacharya. That means you're not getting absorbed into things that are not necessary for your spiritual development. For example, dussang. What is dussang? Opposite of satsang. Sat ka sang, sacche ka sang, achhe ka sang, bhagavadiya ka sang, sang of a devotee, sang of a group which, leads you to have a devotional environment around you. What is dussang? Equally opposite of that. Which merely distracts you from the ultimate reality, doesn't let you experience the ultimate one, doesn't lead you in devotion, only keeps on digressing here and there. And last edition in your and my life, that is called Menka. For people who are new to this conversation, Menka means your phone. Your big samadhis can be broken by Menka. So think over it. Think whether you should be implementing those or not in your life. Apart from that, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra have been given their own responsibilities. Depending on your varna, depending on your ashram. So let's say if you are a brahmachari, you are a grihastha, you are a vanaprastha. A lot of people have this concern. Already the population of the world is so much, I don't want to get married, I don't want to have children. You are not supposed to marry, you are not supposed to merely have children for the sake of biological reasons. See, two things will happen to you. If you have children, you give them sanskar, they'll probably take care of you. If not, then let me frankly tell you one thing. Possibly you could be at an old age home being taken care by someone whom you don't know, and you'll be regretting for your life, why did you have children? If you have given them sanskar, they'll stand by you. But if you'll torture them for life, meet your own ends. And then don't come and cry, why did this happen to me? Just review your own life and figure it out whether you did the right thing to your children or not. Because you are in Kali Yuga, not Satyug, where people will tolerate whatever you have done. Importance of Guru Shishya Parampara has also been mentioned. Why Vanaprastha was important back in the days? Just to give you a perspective, all the elders who are here who have grandchildren, mind you, it's not just parents who are important. It's not just parents who are important, though it is said Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, there is no denial in that. Mind you, children who have been brought up by grandparents, they turn out to be wonderful human beings in the future. And if you need a use case, I'll give you a use case from US. Since the inflation in US is increasing, the income is a problem over there, expenses are too high, daycare expenses are too much. The parents are preferring to have grandparents close by so the babies can be taken care of. And I think ગુજરાતીમાં એક સ્ટેટમેન્ટ છે, સૂદ કરતા વ્યાજ વાલું. Principal amount is irrelevant. The interest is more important. So you do you. The grandchildren are always be the ones to be loved by the grandparents. So think over it. And one message to all my young friends here. Your friends and your girlfriends will come and go. Your grandparents won't come back in your life. A girl might cheat on you, a guy might cheat on you. They might come back, they might go away. But once the grandparent has left your life, there's no coming back. You still have time with your parents. You don't have much time with your grandparents. Even if they tell you the boring most of the story for the 150th time, hear it out. Because you don't know whether you'll have the same people when you reach that age. All they need is love. Just give it. You're not going to lose anything. In return, you are only going to get blessings. And what we say, you won't get the values in a university that you will get from your grandparents. You want to be a better human being? Stay in the lotus feet of your grandparents. And one of the biggest lessons that you'll learn is patience. They will teach you compassion, you will learn patience. Because they have been through what you are going through. They've seen that life. They might not be as fast as you, but they're not dumb. And then comes my favorite topic. What should be the right conduct for a marriage? Which I've spoken about in the earlier days, so I'm not going to touch base upon it. But remember one thing, Grihasthashram is not just meant for creating progenies, it's meant for implementing Dharma. Not solo. See, there are two types of husbands that a wife needs. Someone who supports in the Dharma. If that is not possible, then the second one is someone who doesn't disturb while doing the Dharma. If you can't be a support, at least don't disturb. I had a student, she was extremely interested in Dharma. Husband thought you shouldn't be investing time in this. We'll get a divorce if you study. रेट क्या? USA. I felt bad. I felt bad for my student. She had to live under the gun of a divorce just because she invested time in knowing the Dharma. Please make good choices before getting married. Naradji is remembering his previous birth again, and this embarks the end of Skand 7. We enter the Skand 8. Skand 8 is a Leela that most of you have already heard. So it will become a little easier for you to grasp it. We'll take Bhagwan's name and then take forward. Shri Govardhan Nath Ki Jai. Have you heard of Upanishads? Do you know what is Upanishad? Say yes or no. How many of you? There are more than 50 people today. And the voice is so less. Do you need food? Or do you need India-Pakistan score? હું તો દેવાનો નથી. Jayesh bhai, please ensure that the TV is on. I don't go, you sit today. I don't want you to go today. Have you heard of Upanishads?
Yes.
People who don't know Upanishads, raise your hand. Okay. Fantastic. There's a decent amount of crowd. Good. Hey, I have a young friend over there. Hi. Hi. What's your good name? What's your name? How nice. Avatar આવે છે, Krishna Avatar આવે છે. We're reaching there, don't worry, I still have time. Good, yeah? Upanishad is a concept, we're actually kind of living it right now. The concept was a Shishya would go to the Guru, and Guru and Shishya would sit in an intimate format. What do you mean by intimate format? They would sit close by. The Shishya would ask questions and the Guru would answer questions. And it was not just limited to the Shishya. The Shishya got these messages, got compiled under the banner or under the name of Upanishad. And they turn out to be a good scripture for self-inquiry. How many of you have a problem of self-doubt? Self-doubt. Without any judgments, please raise your hand. Self-doubt people. Anyone who is going through a self-doubt, please read Upanishads. Available in many languages in the world. Possibly available in your mother tongue as well. Mother tongue, if your mother tongue is Sindhi, then you'll get it in Hindi. Someone quote me at gun sometimes. My respect to Thattai Bhatiyas, the closest thing that we have is still Hindi, not Sindhi. It's like if you're a Kutchi and you're asking you, the closest thing is Gujarati. And if you need an author's recommendation, Sri Aurobindo ji has done a fantastic work on Upanishads. Anyone who loves Krishna possibly should read Aurobindo. Yeah. What happens when you desire upon something that doesn't belong to you? Question is, what happens when you desire something that doesn't belong to you? Distress. What else? Greed. Envy. Work towards it. And let's say after years and years of efforts, you achieve it. What happens at the moment of achievement? Satisfaction. And what happens 5 minutes after satisfaction? What's next? Realization or what's next? Either of the two things will happen. But have you felt a full stop? Enough is enough. તારી હજી ઉંમર નથી થઈ એટલે. You still yet to see the world, that's why. I'm done, but enough is enough, full stop. We all reach our prime at different times. We all reach our realizations at different times. Whenever you reach, and if you realize this concept that it's not worth it to infringe upon something that belongs to someone else altogether, does that mean am I stopping you from having aspirations? No. But realize that there's something beyond materialistic success. And then every Bill Gates has a Warren Buffett. And then every Warren Buffett has an Elon Musk. Every Zuckerberg has a Bezos. And every Adani has an Ambani. Maybe the surnames might change, but the concept might remain the same. The Forbes years of richest people might change, but the concept is still going to remain the same. If you will keep comparing your life and your wealth with people who have more than you will never be happy in your life. just for once compare with people who have something lesser than you. Automatically, yeah, ठिकाने आ गई जैसा. It might probably fall in place. Such small principles have been covered in our scriptures, but one of them, one such incident that I really love the most, is the story of Gajendra. If you want to, okay, I'm assuming you've been to a lot of foreign countries. Tell me, where is the most beautiful natural beauty? Like, which country has the best natural beauty? All those people who said Bharat, congratulations, happy for you. You have my heart. Someone said Switzerland. Then? Africa. Fantastic. Animals are amazing over there. जंगल में मंगल करे बाबा विठ्ठलनाथ, जय जमुना श्री गोवर्धननाथ, महाप्रभु श्री विठ्ठलनाथ. आ तो रण में मंगल छे, जंगल में मंगल तो विठ्ठलनाथ ही करे. Anyway, coming back to which country has like really amazing beauty, like natural beauty? New Zealand. Vraj is beautiful. I agree. કયું અમેરિકા વાળું ઇન્ડિયા વાળું? I'm assuming you're saying India. Yeah, sure, cool. Kashmir is beautiful. Oh, but I'm a fan of Kerala. So yeah, fair. Opposites, but still coexisting. If you want to know how beautiful was Bharat, you should read Gajendra Moksha ki Katha. A lot of people feel that Gajendra Moksha is only meant for, okay, an elephant is stuck, an alligator is catching hold of it, Sudarshan Chakra comes by, and they are separated, and there is moksha happening, and prior to that, the elephant is going into the water, he has a lotus in the hand, calls for Bhagwan comes. Most of the people feel that that's the Katha. Well, actually, the Katha starts from the natural beauty of where this incident is happening. So anyone who believes in romance, anyone who believes in poetry, anyone who admires nature, my recommendation to you would be just open the scripture once and look at the beautiful words that have been utilized by to explain what possible natural beauty could persist. Till that extent, that minutest of the minute details of how creepers are, of how trees are, of how the water is flowing, how beautiful are the lakes, how beautiful is the river, what is the family of the elephants doing. And why am I saying this family of the elephants? And because if you check the Kirtan Sahitya, when we are singing Vraja Yuvati Shatasange Haririha, in that particular Kirtan, Bhagavan's Leela has been compared to a group of elephants. It's like that one elephant which is surrounded by a group of female elephants is what we sing in the Kirtan. Similar is what Gajendra is doing with a lot of Hathnis around him. There are a lot of Hathnis and one Hathi. So that is female elephants around, one male elephant, and they're splashing waters against each other. That's exactly how Thakurji is in the group of gopis and Thakurji is in the center. This is the power of that Kirtan. The first line. Primarily only the first line. Do you have a secretive language, a code language with people you know?
Yes.
For people who don't have, try developing one. And if you feel that animals can't express, this is the prime example of an animal expressing in an indicative way without even saying the word of Bhagavan. Namo Bhagavate Tasmai Yata Etat Chidatmakam Purushayadi Bijaya Pareshayabhi Dhimahi. Dhimahi again refers to meditating upon. Who is being meditated upon? Over here, the ultimate reality, the Supreme Person, is being meditated upon. So without even mentioning, over here in the translation Vasudeva is being mentioned, But in the literal Sanskrit shlokas, even Bhagavan's name has not been taken. But look at the relation between the one who's governing us and the one who's seeking for help. Gajendra is not even mentioning Bhagavan's name, but Bhagavan knows that I need to go. Do you know what's a snafu? Snafu? Oh, ChatGPT. What's a snafu? Ishan के हमारो आज काम दे. I've been appointed as an intern. I'm trying to make you participate, my friend. I know you're bored. I know you want to go out and hang out with your friends, but you don't have a choice. Yeah, it's a situation. Snafu is a situation. Oh, I thought you all had better English than me. I come from an SSC school. People don't know what's SSC. Come to Mumbai, I'll teach you. Can't teach you in Dubai. Snafu is a situation. In a situation, because of the previous birth's karma that Gajendra had this consciousness in him to think of Bhagavan. The only fault that Gajendra did in the previous birth was having an ego. What if you have ego? What will you become next birth? Do you want to be an elephant next birth? If you want to be elephant next birth, have ego. Second situation, you see that alligator over there. When someone is doing a dharma, don't mock them. Don't disturb them. Don't hamper their practices. Let them be the way they are. This alligator in the previous birth pulled a rishi who was standing in the river and doing his rituals. And because he did an act which was like an alligator, was meant to be an alligator in the next birth. Crocodiles have a habit of pulling you. So when someone is doing the dharma, let them do their dharma. Don't mock them. Let them be the way they are. And this is where the previous birth realization gives them an idea what people are and what people need to be. Now I'm leading to a katha which you all are already aware of. But I still want you to hear it peacefully and see if you can get some different learnings out of it. It's the story of sage Durvasa giving a mala to Indra. Indra happens to be the king of gods, king of devatas. Indra is not respecting this prasad. Do you understand prasad? Yeah? So the mala was prasadi of Lakshmi ji. It's like Lakshmi ji had a garland. Lakshmi ji gave this garland to Durvasa. Durvasa in return gives this garland to Indra. Indra doesn't understand the value of this mala. Lands up giving it to Airavat. Airavat happens to be the elephant. Now you know how moody elephants can be. Airavat took that mala, twirled it, threw it against the ground, walked past it. Now, here's the difference between what we do when we get a prasad. So, generally, if someone offers prasad to us, we receive it with our two hands. We apply it on our left eye, apply it on our right eye, apply it on our head, apply it on our heart, and then put it aside. If someone gives us a flower garland, slight smell in your nose, left, right, head, heart. If someone gives you a small prasad, consumable, a small portion of it can be taken out. Look at the action of eating, not how you have chocolate. You're supposed to drop it. Take that prasad, left, right, head, heart. Now you might be feeling like, why are you forcing us to do this? A, that prasad is blessing your eyes because you could see it. Second, you are respecting the prasad so that it can bless your intellect. Third, you are respecting that prasad, stating that just like this, please stay in my heart so that every now and then I can get this prasad. And my inner self can become happy. Why? Because I'm getting Thakurji's prasad. Indra couldn't land up respecting the prasadi mala the way it's supposed to be. And because of this disrespect, Durvasa cursed them, stating, you won't have wealth anymore. And if you feel curses don't work, go watch Tare Zameen Par movie, you'll understand it. It's an energy and the end of the day. The more neutral you are, the easily it will get affected. The more negative you are, the easier it becomes for someone to attack you. But if you are someone who stays with Bhagwan's name every now and then very frequently, be rest assured. भूत प्रेत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे. Nothing will happen to you then. Now everyone are worried, especially the Devatas, because we don't have wealth, what to do? Everyone goes to Brahmaji. Brahmaji thought, let's take you to Bhagavan. Bhagavan says, you need to do an arrangement. What is the arrangement? You have to do the arrangement of settling with your half-brothers. Who are your half-brothers? Asurs. If you want to think otherwise, this is your place where you have to settle your hisab kitab with them. And that's where it leads to a Leela called as Samudra Manthan, the churning of the ocean. Now, in order to do that, the first thing that is being chosen is Vasuki. A nag is being chosen. Now, see, Devatas are smart. It's an indirect way of you to be street smart as well. How do you take advantage of a situation? Devatas are like, we won't be on the head side of Vasuki. We'll be on the tail's end of Vasuki. Because by chance, if the head moves here and there and the vicious poison comes out of it, then it becomes a problem. So, prior to deciding the ultimate goal, stating Amrut needs to be achieved, after that arrangement is done, Vasuki is arranged. Now people are wondering, in order to churn the mill, in order to churn the ocean, we need Mathni. We need the instrument in place at least. That's when, through Bhagavan's Krupa, a mountain called as Mandarachal comes into the picture. And that's being put in the ocean. Now while it's being put on the ocean and the churning starts, the mountain goes down. Of course, stone is not going to sustain. A mountain rock is not going to sustain. And that's when Bhagavan has to take an avatar called as Kurma. Now mind you, the Mandarachal Parvat is 100 times heavier than Girirajji. So a lot of people might feel that there's so much pain and so much heaviness on Bhagavan's back. The strength of Bhagavan is such that while he was holding the Mandarachal Parvat on his back, he was snoring. He was that bored. And because of his snoring, started the waves in an ocean. Now, while this Samudra Manthan Leela is happening, because of Samudra Manthan, the first thing that comes out is halahal wish. Now, what is this halahal wish all about? Remember one thing, when you start something new, people are going to criticize you. One of my very close person, when he started a new business, they got a taunt in Marwadi. So there'll be such people who will be pulling your leg, they'll be discouraging you, a lot of roadblocks will come. What are you supposed to do with roadblock? Like to get it approved from my High Commission. Now please tell me, who's the High Commission of Mahadevji? Arey Vah, very good, congratulations. I'm the only Vakta who claps for the crowd. Last 4 days, I've been the only one who's clapping for everyone. I'm not expecting claps from you. Please don't forcefully do it. Not my nature. Don't worry. Having said this, Parvati ji is like, fine, go ahead, do it. Shivji is like, okay. So the halahal wish, Shivji has it. Shivji takes that poison, puts it in the throat, stabilizes in the throat. Shivji's color turns to be blue. Since that day, Shivji is known as Neelakantha. Neela is blue and Kantha is throat. And some droplets apparently happen to be falling down. Some are consumed by snakes, some of them are consumed by scorpions, and some of them turned out to be onions and garlics. પાવભાજી કાંદા લસણ વગરની ખાવાની કેવી લાગે? Everyone is in a problem right now. Just to remind you, Ekadashi is tomorrow. So you're devoid of pav bhaji and India-Pakistan match at the same time. So the Samudra Manthan Leela continues. Before the Amrit comes out, a lot of other things come out. Hathi comes out, Ghoda comes out, trees come out, Apsaras come out. All of these are distributed to relevant people. One money comes out, one jewel comes out, that's called the Kaustubh Mani. Bhagavan is like, I'll have this. The Kaustubh Mani resides on the chest of Bhagavan. It's offered in Pushti Seva as well. And then comes the one that is desired by everyone. Guess what? Lakshmi. Amrit ke pehle Lakshmi comes. Tataschavir bhut sakshat Shri Rama Bhagavat Para. This is matching to your 888. The most unstable number in numerology. Hence Lakshmi is Chanchal. And hence you need Bhagavan, because Bhagavan is also born on 8.
Wasn't it the year of 8?
We are in the year of 9 now. And now everyone wants Lakshmi. Asurs are ready, Devatas are ready. But remember one thing. You don't decide Lakshmi that she wants to. She will decide where she wants to go. You just have to make arrangements whether she'll come or not. And remember one thing. Those people who catch hold of Lakshmi ke nath, Lakshmi definitely walks by. Stop chasing Lakshmi, start chasing Lakshmi ke nath, Lakshmi definitely will follow. Lakshmi can't stay without Lakshmi ke nath. That is Bhagavan. Lakshmi can't be complete. Lakshmi can't be complete without Vishnu. If that Lakshmi takes a form and comes to Vraj and starts behaving like a florist and starts applying, garlands on various houses when Bhagavan takes an avatar in Gokul, I'm certain Lakshmi is going to stay where Bhagavan is. Lakshmi Sahasra Leela Vihi Sevyamanam Kalanadam. After that, what do you think will come next? And by the way, this is where Lakshmi ji chooses to marry Bhagavan. Aushadhi comes, Dhanvantari ji comes, and Dhanvantari ji eventually brings Amrut. And this is the story, Jayesh ji, you have heard that Amrut Kalash comes out and then 10 certain droplets fall in Prayagraj, / Haridwar, / Nashik, / Ujjain. Now, opportunists are not the ones who become excited, hey, we are winning. Opportunists are the ones who are Rakshas who understood one thing, we need to take this away from Devatas. So too much early celebration is also a problem. And what happens when you have a problem? Baby has a problem, goes to mom and dad. Devtas have a problem, go to Bhagavan. And that's when Bhagavan has to take an avatar of Mohini. One of the finest illusionary avatars of Bhagavan, where his eyes, her eyes are looking at one place and her delivery is on the other direction. She happily takes the bowl of the pitcher of Amrit from the Asurs. Her eyes are continuously with the Asurs, so the Asurs feels that she is interacting with us. And on the other side, she is giving Amrit to the Devatas. And in middle, between Surya and Chandra, was that one Asur who is known as Rahu, who was smart enough to be there. As soon as gets a droplet, at least till here, Rahu becomes Amar. But Surya and Chandra, remember one thing, are always a part of Bhagavan. They indicate to Bhagavan, Bhagavan sends a Sudarshan Chakra, Rahu becomes split, Rahu becomes Rahu and Ketu, and they decide to be eclipse on the full moons and the new moons, either on the sun or on the moon. So scientifically, as many WhatsApp forward messages you might get that negative energy is here, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. You may believe or not believe, that's on you, but let me tell you one thing, it's not a good time. Some people feel nothing is bad, nothing is good. Good for you. Sleep in the day, eat at the night. Go against your regular cycle. Nothing is good, nothing is bad. Badhu sar kuch. So Mohini ensures that the disbursement of Amrit is done, and at this case, Bhagavan's plan, Bhagavan's Ashirwad has become successful. See, here's the difference. Asurs never took the ashraya of Bhagavan. Devtas did. Since Devta did the ashraya of Bhagavan, they got saved. But amongst those Asurs was the Guru Shukracharya, who had this Vidya called as Sanjeevani. At once, the Asurs started fighting with the Devatas. Asurs got destroyed. Shukracharya seeked for a solution. Shukracharya got a solution of Sanjeevani Vidya. Asurs got revived. The battle ended over there. Both parties went to their own regular routine work. Amongst that situation came Mahadevji, who wanted to see the darshan of Mohini. Generally, Mahadevji is not someone who gets attached, but this is that one avatar of Vishnu where Mahadevji also felt, I need to do the darshan. Despite having a wife, leaving Parvati, Shivji starts running behind Mohini. सावधान रहे, सतर्क रहे. Bhagavan also understood. Let's pause this Leela over here. Shivji also understood. I shouldn't be persuading this forward because Mohini, Mohita, it attracts you. It hypnotizes you. Then comes the future Leelas of various Manvantars in Adhyay 13 and 14. Later on comes a Mata and her name is Aditi. Just after a few days, Falgun Mahina from a Gujarati calendar's perspective will start. And the Shukla part of Falgun Mahina, anyone who is planning to have a baby, this is a good time to do this vrat called as Payo Vrat. What does Payo Vrat mean? You're supposed to be on water for 12 days. Aditi Mata had a desire to have a baby. She did this vrat called as Payo Vrat, which was that she was on milk for 12 days. And because of that Payo Vrat ceremony, eventually she is blessed with Bhagavan in her womb. So Kashyap's wife Aditi does this vrat really well. In the meantime, she also lands up reciting certain names of Bhagavan. Namah Shivaya, Rudraya, etc. the shlokas which have been recited. Bhagavan appears in front of Aditi and gives the desired boon of coming as a child. Aditi extols Bhagavan by reciting Yagnesha Yagna Purusha Achyuta Tirtha Pada. Bhagavan is the form of Yagna, Yagnesha, king of Yagna. Bhagavan is Yagna Purusha himself. All the Tirtha originates from him. Bhagavan's name is Shravana Mangal. Shravana Mangal is also something we'll be listening to at the later stage. Shravana Mangal and Namadeya. Namadeya refers to Bhagavan's name is something that is worthy of listening. Even Brahmaji, whenever Bhagavan takes an incarnation, Bhagavan does Brahmaji does a stuti. In this case, Jayo Rugaya, Urugaya. That's the name of Bhagavan. How are you? Prabhu Trigunaya. You are made up of three qualities. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, all three belong to you. And to which eventually Bhagavan takes in the Chaturbhuj form, has Shankha Chakra Gada in him, and eventually takes the form of someone called as Vamana. And this is where Vamanji's incarnation happens. Shri Vamana Bhagavan ki. See, you want to be Kans, don't worry. Kans is going to come in sometime. You don't want to say, Jai, the ball is in your court. But I'm done threatening you now. You're making choices, live with those choices. Now, the beauty about Vaman, this avatar is not just meant for taking care of Bali. Bharatiya families have a similar culture to all the Brahmins, and that is Janoi. You take Janoi seriously. Because Janoi is the one that gives you access to Gayatri. And here's where I'll make a statement. Gayatri mantra is only supposed to be recited by the people who have Janoi. Those who don't have Janoi cannot recite Om, Bhur, Bhuva, Swaha and the entire mantra. Aila. Havashu. See, understand one thing. The Yagnopavit Sanskar that you give to your boys, the Janoi, is the eligibility criteria to study the Vedic mantras. Gayatri is a Vedic mantra. The one who gets the Janoi is supposed to recite those mantras. Are you supposed to be devoid of that chance? No. And that's why Vedavyasji has written Puranas for you. And out of that Puran, an equivalent Gayatri mantra is made available for you, which is called the Pauranic Gayatri. So instead of reciting the Vedic Gayatri, you can recite the Pauranic Gayatri and you can not fall in the trap of Vedic dosha. For Pauranic Gayatri, meet these two gentlemen after the Katha. They'll give it to you. Yes. See, any mantra which is discontinued now, at least on the male side, you have to revive that mantra and put it in your daily routine first. Once you get it in your daily routine, you become eligible to give that mantra to your next generation. And giving that mantra to the next generation requires a protocol and a process which is nothing but Janoi. And that's why Janoi mein Gayatri mantra ka Diksha is not given by Pandits. It goes from grandfather to the son or the father to the son. એમને જલ્દી બોલાવી લેજો કારણ કે એમને જ ગાવાનું આવશે હમણાં. એમને જ હમણાં 5 મિનિટમાં ગાવાનું આવશે. બિચારા કંટાળી ગયા મારા કારણે. So I hope now you are understanding the importance of Janoi. See guys, hear me out. Vedic mantras now have power in it. This power requires handling capacity. If I'll mix any two chemicals, will it have reaction? Of course. Will it have adverse reactions? Definitely yes. In the first day of the Katha, you were asking me whether pronunciation matters or not. Till that extent, in certain time from now, you will understand what happens when you recite the different mantras. Mantra with intent A and mantra with intent B. It can give you different outcomes altogether. And my concern has been, at certain time, we have always been continuing the previous practices, but we never got a chance to do revision. Consider this Bhagavad Saptah to be a chance to revision, to discontinue what was wrong, to continue what was right, and to revive certain philosophies or certain practices that you couldn't do earlier. And all due respect to all your previous gurus as well. It's because of their grace you reach till here. But now make a choice. Elevate yourself. Vallabhacharya never insisted upon continuous engagement with him. He always kept Thakurji first as a principle. It was the duty or the responsibility of the Jeev whether he felt like going to the Guru and then going to Thakurji or not. A Guru is supposed to make you develop a relationship with Bhagwan, not himself. My job is not to make a relation with me. My job is to make you fall in love with him. Whether or not I'm successful or not depends on him. But I'm in zero interest to increase my followers over here. So this is the importance of Janoi. This is the importance of the one of the sanskars out of the 16 sanskars. And it beholds a lot of power. Mind you, there are 3-4 incidences that in our life which are equivalent to a marriage, a wedding. Janoi being one of them, Bhagavad Katha being one of them. You need equivalent preparations. At least wedding ends in 3 days. Bhagavad Ji doesn't. Please go ahead.
This means Gayatri Mantra is only for male, not for female.
The statement is Gayatri Mantra is for the person who has Janoi. No, women who had Janoi back in the days, Gargis and all of these who were sadhvis, they also had access of Gayatri Mantra. And they had Janoi. So I stand right on my statement. I never said it's for male or females.
So why that didn't follow for women also?
Masa Dharma, something that we discussed yesterday.
But in many 25 days, they can try
Sorry?
Mas, Dharam. After that 25 days, they can decide.
Uncertainty of the mass dharma can come at any given point of time. That's why Janoi is not offered to women. And after marriage, she doesn't need Janoi. She's Dikshit.
In the morning, they recite Gayatri Mantra.
You can continue if you want to. I'm not saying to stop. That's on you. I told you it's on you. Whether you want to continue or not.
They can't even hear. So why pray in the morning?
In an inappropriate avastha, let's say if you're getting ready, not the right thing to do. Gayatri Mantra is supposed to be done the way he is doing it. जब ऐसा करो बाजू वाले को भी पता ना चले क्या चल रहा है. It's not a publicly spoken mantra the way it's being sung by XYZ singers on YouTube, and that T series is making money because you're playing videos out of it.
Also, that is the reason why we do Mala in Gomukhi and not the outside.
Thank you so much. You're absolutely right. The power should stay within, not outside. You do Bhagwan ka naam upar upar se as a form of Sangeet and Kirtan, no problem. The job has to be private. And where I'm also giving you an alternative. No? Where am I saying stop doing Gayatri Mantra? I'm giving you an alternative. Go to the Pandits, they'll give you a Pauranic Gayatri. Equally effective, tried and tested, approved by Shastra, not by me. I'm not giving you anything. Shastra is giving it to you. Whether to not have faith, that's the ball game in your court, not in mine. My job is to tell you the truth. खोटू लागी you लोग है ना. See, I've seen. Please go ahead.
Because we are finding our practices
my opening statement that of the day only was that મને આ શીખવાડવામાં આવેલું હતું. And the minute someone tells you આ ખોટું હતું, it's like a gun, someone is gunning you. So I'm sorry for it, but the truth is truth. So I understand. I totally understand where you all come from.
No, we are getting the reasons.
Yeah, you're getting reasons now. You're getting reasons now. So you feel free to do whatever you feel like, because even Bhagavan didn't force Arjun to do whatever he asked to. Even Bhagavan said, decide what you want to do. I'm going to take the same stand, do what you feel like. I've given you alternatives now. Coming back to the Katha of Vamanji, we were talking about Janoi, etc. Vamanji is blessed with Janoi, Vamanji is blessed with Yagnopavit. So many Devis and Devtas give him way too many things. Someone gives him Vastra, someone gives him Chhatra, someone gives him Kundal, Kamandalu, someone gives Japmala, someone gives Gayatri Diksha, someone gives Janoyu. And with all of these things, there's a place called as Bharuch in Gujarat, Bhrugu Kutch. That's where Bharuch is, where the yagna is happening from Bali Raja's end. Shukracharya is the Acharya. And Bali is feeling extremely blessed. Adyana Pitrastrupta. That means because of your divine presence, my ancestors would have been blessed. And please tell me, what do you want? I'm in a mood to give you anything that you want. Whether you want a wife to get married or you want land, whatever you want, I'll be more than happy to give you. And the avatar of Vishnu over here, Vamanji, is asking only for 3 steps of land. When he's asking 3 pieces of land, Shukracharya is like, Bali is so convincing, Bali is offering everything, why is he not ready to move? Shukracharya understood that he's not a normal boy. He's Bhagavan who has come in the form of Vaman. And Vamanji is adamant on only 3 steps of feet that he wants, 3 steps of land that he wants. And now by this time, Bali Raja is bound by his vow stating that I'll give you whatever you want. Here's where Shukracharya is going to make Bali cautious. And please hear me out. આપણે ગાવાનું આવશે આજ બલી કો સમર્પણ સાચો. બે 5 મિનિટમાં ગાવાનું આવશે. Here's the cautious advice, and I want all of you to hear me extremely attentively. Shukracharya is advising Bali Raja to use his wealth at 5 places. To use his wealth at 5 places. The first place, so this is the topic of wealth management. The first is Dharmaya. Use your wealth in Dharma. Second is Arthaya. Arthaya refers to reinvest in your own business. Third, Yashase, invest in fame. Fourth, Kamaya, use it for what you desire. And fifth, Swajanaya, use it for your loved ones. Use it for Dharma, use it for your own business, Arthaya, use it for your fame, use it for your calm, that is your desire, use it for your Swajanaya, that is your own family members. Divide your wealth in that way, and that's how you should manage your wealth. This is the primary Siddhan given by Shukracharya, who is a preceptor to the Asurs and is giving one of the finest financial management advice without any complications of reserve money, stop loss, etc., etc. Now you can take this and mix and merge with any current scenarios, current situations, liquid, non-liquid, immovable, movable, liquidable, non-liquidable, that's on you. I'm a CA dropout, I only know this much. Bali is like, I've said, it's done. Fine. So Shukracharya demonstrates, gives the curse, eventually, you can even take a picture of this if you want to, you can take a picture of it. Dharmaya, Arthaya, Yashase, Arthaya, Kamaya, Swajanaya. That's how your wealth management can be. Bali is like, I've already said it, Satyam Bhāgavatam Proktam, Dharmoyam Gruhamedhinam, My word is true. I have to stand by what I've done. So I'll be more than happy to give you the 3 steps of land. And now Vamanji starts taking the step. In the first step, second step, by the time he reaches the second step, he has taken everything. Now his legs have reached, lotus feet has reached till the Brahmalok. Brahmaji is standing over there. Brahmaji is like, oh, Thakurji, Sri Charan has come over here. Let me do the Abhishek. While he does the Abhishek, a river flows down to the earth, and that river is called Janvi. Janvi is also another name of Ganga. And that's when now Bali is asking, now Vamanji is asking, where should I keep the third feet? Like, keep it on my head. Bali Raja was like, okay. But Vamanji is like, okay. But the problem is, I took everything that is made out of Panchamahabhut. So I've taken the earth, I've taken the heaven, I've taken the hell, I've taken everything. I will definitely put my leg on you, but still, you will be captured. And that's where Bali surrenders to Bhagavan. And we sing, Aaj Bali ko samarpan sacho.
बलि राजा को समर्पण साचो
बलि राजा को समर्पण साचो बलि राजा को समर्पण साचो
बहुत कयो गुरु शुक्र देवता
बहुत कयो गुरु शुक्र देवता
आप मन दृढ़ नाही काजो
आप नहीं मन दृढ़ काजो बलि राजा को समर्पण साचो
यज्ञ करत है जाके कारण
यज्ञ करत है जाके कारण
सो प्रभु तुम्हि प्रगट जनायो
सो प्रभु आप प्रगट जनायो
परमानंद प्रभु प्रसन्न भय हरि
परमानंद प्रभु प्रसन्न भये हरि जो जन को जानत है साचो
जो उनको जानत है साचो
बलि राजा को समर्पण साचो बलि राजा को समर्पण साचो
समर्पण साचो समर्पण साचो बलि राजा को समर्पण साचो
Shri Vaman Bhagavan ki jai. This is the truest form of self-surrender ever done. See, generally when you lose everything now, you might feel distressed. In this case, Bali, you might feel had no choice. He had a choice, he could have backed off. Instead of surrendering himself, he could have just merely gone to hell, which he is eventually taken to. Bali becomes a part of hell, Bali becomes a part of Patal. He could have gone there directly. But instead, he chooses to surrender himself to Bhagavan. And that's exactly the same thing which is being extolled in the Kirtan as well. Samarpana Sacho. This is the truest form of Samarpan someone can do. And one thing, a slightly different aspect over here, generally all of us are running behind Lakshmi. Bhagavan's nature is slightly different. If Bhagavan truly wants to grab you and make you his, the first thing he'll do is make you away from Lakshmi. Because somewhere, if your wealth bothers and meddles into the picture, and you go away from Bhagavan, that is something that Bhagavan is not going to like. So you run behind Lakshmi, go for it. The minute you get Bhagavan, and if Bhagavan feels like that, I want to make that relation with you, the first thing that's going to go away from you is wealth. Dharma is going to go away from you. Lakshmi in the form of grace is going to stay with you. धन वयू जैसे लक्ष्मी रही जैसे And if you remember, I had mentioned someone called as Prahlad yesterday. Prahlad happens to be the grandfather of Baliraja. In Gujarati, we say Morna Inda Chitarva Na Pade. It's the same thing. Prahlad was a devotee, and mind you, Prahlad is called upon in this situation. Prahlad comes and witnesses this situation. Prahlad has seen no difference in Narsimha and Vaman. You graced me then, you grace my grandson now. Bhagavan, I'm happy with you. I have zero complaints.
So if he did full surrender, why was he sent to hell?
Because he couldn't finish his vow.
Which was?
He couldn't fulfill the 3 steps. The 3rd step was still pending. So he deserved a punishment. And in that punishment, in some other adhyaya, it is said that Baliraja makes a deal with Bhagavan. Bhagavan has to become the doorkeeper of Bali. And now Lakshmi ji is worried because I haven't seen Bhagavan in ages. And that's why prior to on the day of Bhai Dooj, Lakshmi ji comes to Bali stating, give me my husband back, I need to go. I need to take him back. Raksha Bandhan, sorry, not Bhai Dooj. So Lakshmi ji ties the Rakhi eventually.
And in North India we pray to Vaman, but in South India they pray to Bhagavata. So, like for their Samarpan or?
I think it's for the Samarpan only. And that way Sri Lanka prays to Ravan as well. ત્યાંનો રાજા હતો ને. And Utsi, you have to read this Adhyaya, Adhyaya 24. Now you will be wondering, why am I asking you to read this Adhyaya, Matsya Avatar's Adhyaya? My elders used to say this, anyone who is studying, does the recitation and reading of this Adhyaya, gets a lot of knowledge in future. It's just one Adhyaya, a very limited number of shlokas. The story is also very simple. There is a fish that comes in the lap of a king. That king keeps on switching utensils. The fish becomes of a huge size. Is sent back to the ocean. King is asking, Prabhu, who are you? Why are you like this? Like, I'm Matsya. I'm going to... The term is Vedan Uddharate. I'm going to take care of the Vedas and come back. Because there's an Asur called as Hayagriv. Hayagriv is the one who has taken away the Vedas. I'm going to revive this Veda and come back. So Bhagavan takes the form of Matsya. After taking the form of Matsya, Bhagavan revives the Veda. And the king has been given the responsibility of arranging the Nauka, that is the boat. The Sapta Rishis, Aushadhis, all the essential elements which are needed for creation in the next time cycle. During the Pralay, this is one Vishishta avatar. What do I mean by Vishishta avatar, which is different in nature? In this avatar, the Guru is inside the water and the Shishya is above. Generally, Guru and Shishya, one second. In this avatar, you might see that the fish is under the water. You'll see a king sitting on the backside. You'll see the rishis sitting ahead. You will see a snake which is being curled between both of them. Generally, a guru sits above, Shishya sits below. In the story of Matsya Avatar, Matsya is guiding them and narrating a lot of knowledge and wisdom while revolving around the entire ocean for a good amount of timeline. And this is something unusual. All the avatars of Vishnu, all the avatars of Bhagavan are somewhere or the other in the unusual format only. Maybe Narsimha, maybe Vamana, or maybe Matsya. Concluding Ashtama Skandha over here, we enter the skand called as Navama Skand, which also happens to be the Leela of devotees. What does Leela of devotees refer to? Before knowing the Leela of Bhagavan, there are two Vansha, there are two lineages, Surya Vansh and Chandra Vansh. I'm not referring to the movie. I'm referring to Surya and Chandra and the lineages that they had. They had some splendid kings and splendid devotees. Considering the timeline, I'm going to speak about Pururva, Ela and Sudyumna. I'm going to speak about Ela and Sudyumna. And prior to I speak about it, let me help you understand what a yagna can do and what the power of yagna can be. A king decides to do a yagna in order to get a son. Listen to the story, listen to the Katha. And a king decides to do a yagna in order to get a son. The queen decides, I want a daughter, so instructs the pandits to start reciting the mantras which could give a daughter. When the yagna was done, when the king was blessed with a girl, he questioned the pandits, what have you done? The pandit said, the rishi said, we were of the assumption that your queen would have consulted with you because we got the instructions from the queen stating that kindly recite the mantras for a daughter. Now the concern was, can this daughter turn out to be a son? Current biological situations, of course, if you operate and this can be done. Back in the days, you needed yogic powers to do this. So they made an arrangement where this girl was now a boy. So Linga Parivartan happened, gender transformation happened, and one fine day, this particular identity, which is now a boy, enters into an area which happens to be a romanicizing spot between Shivji and Parvati. It was considered to be a private spot in a forest where only they would stay and live. And it was enchanted in a way that any male who would enter there would turn out to be a woman. It is Strī thi Purush thayo, Purush thi Strī thayo. So women to men, men to women. Now there's a fix. What to do? Meditates upon Brahmaji, meditates upon and gets a solution. Wanted a boon stating, can I become men again? Stating that since you've crossed the boundaries of Shivji, it's not possible for you to change from a female to a complete man. What do you do in such a case? The solution was, for 1 month you are male and for the next month you are female, and this cycle continues. जितना लॉजिक लगाओगे उतना ही बाउंसर जाएगा. Because this is beyond logic. Because medical science is yet to figure out a way how can you change gender every month. It's just like a monthly subscription. This is the power of yagna. Yagna can change things. There was one case where there was a rishi called as Chavan. Chavan rishi was very old. And Sukanya, Chavan rishi was meditating one day, and while he was meditating, he meditated for so many days. Sukanya landed up piercing the eyes of Chavan rishi because she was small and naive. Eventually, Chavan rishi got married to Sukanya because Chavan rishi said that I'll need someone to do my seva. Sukanya takes care of Chavan rishi for years and years. Later on, after certain years, I think in the current age of science, people are working on anti-aging. I even read about someone who invested $30 million to reduce his age by certain years. And I think one of these influencers even came to India and found a lot of smoggy issue. I'm not sure how many of you follow Nikhil Kamath, founder of Zerodha. The Worthy podcast, sorry to give you a Laukik example, but quite a decent example of how breathing is a problem in India and not in other countries. So that particular person worked upon anti-aging. Now, why am I narrating the story to you? Chavan Rishi was asked to go to a place where Ashwini Kumars came. Ashwini Kumars did a transformation to Chavan Rishi. Chavan Rishi, who was old, becomes as fit as like any Bollywood actor in the current time. And now Sukanya is extremely happy. Which wife wouldn't be happy if the husband is young and mighty? So Sukanya became extremely happy. So if you have the wealth, explore it. Can't, do bhakti and move on in life. Then comes the story of Manu, Nabhag, Nabhag. I'm leading you towards Surya Vansha. Surya Vansha is going to have, એમને બોલાવી લેજો પાછા. એમને લાગે છે ને ઓલો પીરિયડમાં રિસેસ મળી ગયો હોય તો પાછા આવી જવાનો. જલ્દી હવે માસ્તર બોલાવી રહ્યા છે. I'm leading you to a story of a king called as Ambrish. Now who's Ambrish? Ambrish happens to be the ancestor of Ram. I still have 45 minutes. I know I have to reach to Krishna Avatar. I will reach to Krishna Avatar after doing Rama Avatar. Don't worry. Not my first rodeo. Ambrish as a king, how many, I'm assuming you'll have gone to Nathdwara for sure. For all those people who have gone to Nathdwara, have you gone to Kakroli? You gone to Kakroli? You might have done a darshan of this Swarup called as Dwarkadiji. This Dwarkadiji was the one which was being served by Ambrish. And this very Ambrish, one day, had an upvas to do, had a vrat to follow, had invited Durvasa Rishi for the Parana. Durvasa Rishi happened to be late. While Durvasa Rishi was late, he consulted with the other rishis over there what to do. Other rishis suggested, have some water, you'll be fine. And that will be considered as breaking the fast and not breaking the fast at the same time. And Ambrish Raja was a little particular about timings, so he did that. Durvasa came in late. Durvasa felt bad that you violated my presence, you didn't respect it. Durvasa got pissed and angry at Ambrish, insulted Ambrish. The minute Durvasa insults Ambrish, a Sudarshan Chakra comes back. Now the Sudarshan Chakra is going behind going behind Durvasa. And now Durvasa is going to Brahmaji, going to Shivji, going to Bhagavan. Bhagavan said, I'm not going to do anything for you. You have insulted my devotee. Moral of the class, never insult a devotee. You need to seek forgiveness from the devotee only in order to get remedies, because the Sudarshan Kavach otherwise won't stop. Durvasa goes to Ambrish, seeks for forgiveness, and eventually Ambrish gives forgiveness to Durvasa. Why is Ambrish so important? Ambrish is so important because he has done Dwarkadiji's seva so beautifully, even before Dwarka Leela actually happened. Second thing, his mind was completely engrossed in Bhagavan's seva. Savai Manak Krishna Padaravindayo. His mind was completely engrossed in Thakurji's lotus feet. His Vani, his speech, was meant for doing the Gungan of the one who was residing in Vaikuntha. His hands. How many of you all want to curtail on your ego? Any takers? Anyone who wants to curtail on your ego, start cleaning your mandir. And for pure Pushti Jeeves, start reciting Antakaran Prabodh. Cleansing of your mandir is the best way to curtail your ego. Why? Because you are not over there as a Seth. You are there as a Das. Das is a servant. So anyone who's on cloud 9, you want to be grounded, definitely be the one to do the cleaning of the mandir. And mind you, that was the belief of Amrish. These hands are meant for cleaning the mandir. Karo Hari Mandir Marjanadishu. Hari Mandir refers to where Thakurji resides, and Marjanadishu refers to cleansing it. So that's the entire story of Durvasa, who is relieved from the sorrow. Comes the further generations of King Harishchandra, Saubhari, Sagar, all of these. And then comes someone called as Bhagirath. Because of the efforts of Anshuman, Dilip, his ancestors, Anshuman wanted to get Ganga down, couldn't get Ganga down. Dilip wanted to get Ganga down, couldn't get Ganga down. Finally, Bhagirath does efforts to get Gangaji down. Gangaji has two concerns. Who will take care of my flow? Answer was, Shivji's head is where you will be resided. Shivji will take care of your flow. Second question. All these wonderful people who go to Prayagraj for Kumbh Snan and Pap Dhovofying, and so much Pap will come in me, who will remove the Pap from me? Arrangement was meant for that as well. When Sat Purush, Sadhu Purush, people with simplicity will go and do the Snan in you, your Pap will also get withered away. એટલે 60 કરોડમાંથી 59 કરોડ લોકો પાપ ધોવા જાય અને 1 કરોડ સાધુ લોકો એ પાપને ધોવા પડે. Now I hope you know why sadhus are in Kumbh. They are not for removal of their pap. They are there for removal of your pap. With these two conditions, Bhagavati Ganga decided, fine, I'm going to come down. The way Gangaji has been cleaned, I hope Yamnaji gets clean soon. And after that, आज अयोध्या प्रगटे राम, आज अयोध्या प्रगटे राम, आज अयोध्या प्रगटे राम, आज अयोध्या प्रगटे राम.
दशरथ वंश उदय कुल दीपक,
दशरथ वंश उदय कुल दीपक,
विरंचि मुनि भयो विश्राम,
शिव विरंचि मुनि भयो विश्राम.
आज अयोध्या प्रगटे राम,
आज अयोध्या
प्रगटे राम.
घर घर तोरण कुंदन माला,
हरि घर घर
तोरण वंदन माला,
मोती न चोक पूरे बीज धाम, मोती न चोक पूरे बीज धाम.
परमानंद दास की
सर
परमानंद दास की अवसर बंदी, जन के पूरन
काम, आज अयोध्या प्रगटे राम, प्रगटे राम आज अयोध्या प्रगटे श्री राम।
श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की
जय हो। Your ancestors stayed for 500 years. You can't even do one jai for Ramji or what? Shri Ramachandra Bhagavan ki. Do you know how long is Ramayana? Like the number of shlokas in Ramayana? 100 crores. But I won't recite those 100 crore shlokas. I'll just recite one shlok. Guru Varthit Tyakta Rajyo Vachardhanivanam Padma Padbhyam Priyaya Pani Sparsha Kshamabhyam Ruchita Patharujo Yo Harindra Nujabhyam Vahirupya Shurpadakya Priya Viraha Varusha Ropita Vrijumba Trastabdir Vadda Setu Khaladava Dahanaha Kosalendro Avatannaha. But this is the one shloka of Ramayana. In Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana has been described in 2 adhyayas, that's it. This one shloka covers the entire Ramayana. Sri Ramji's Charitra is such that when Shivji recited it, Shivji had about 100 crore shloks worth of Ramchandraji under Ramayana. 3 categories of people came to him and asked for the shloks. He bifurcated 33 crores, 33 lakhs, 33,333 shloks and kept one shlok with him. In that as well, they asked for the one shlok. He bifurcated that shlok. There were 29 characters in it. He gave 999 and all of them left. They thought they got Ramayana. Shivji was wise enough to keep the 2 letters with him, and those 2 letters were Ra and Ma. This is the beauty of Ram. And some people believe that Ram and Krishna are different. They're not. For us, Ram is equal to Krishna, Krishna is equal to Rama. The only difference is, depending on the situation, you need to understand whether will you implement what Ramchandra did or whether will you implement what Bhagavan Shri Krishna said. You can't do what Krishna did. You can't marry to 16,000 wives, can you? एक संभाळ आती નથી, ક્યાંથી 16,000 ને પરણશો? But you can surely walk on the path of what Ramchandraji did. Sri Ramayana Katha is very simple. Ramji and Lakshmanji happened to be studying under Vishwamitra. Ramji had to find a wife, and for that a Dhanush Bhang had to be done, which even Parshuram couldn't do, but Ramchandraji was very much being able to do. Ram was decided as the crown prince, but Manthra and Kaikeyi had a different plan. Kaikeyi's plan, Bhagavan accepts it. Dashrath ji gives the instruction of leaving and going away. Sri Ramchandra ji was leaving. Sita ji said, I'll also come. Lakshman ji said, I'll also come with you. Out of the 4 brothers, 2 are out. Third one has gone away waiting for the elder brother to come back. And the 4th one is in the house right now. They all go to the forest. And then comes that one deer which has been troubling everyone. That deer that troubled Jad Bharat ji, that deer that troubles Ramchandra ji, that deer that will trouble Bhagavan Shri Krishna as well at a later stage. And this deer is where Sita ji has been excited for, stating that I want this deer. If you will read this at a slightly higher philosophical level, you will realize that Sita actually never left. It was Sita's impression that was taken away by Ravan. And a lot of people feel that Ravan was extremely nice and he never touched Sita. Had he touched Sita, he would have burnt down. Stop extolling villains as heroes. Stop giving compassion to people who don't deserve it. Stop favoring Karna and Ravan every now and then. Now you might have heard of Lakshman Rekha, right? Lakshman Rekha doesn't exist in Bhagavata and doesn't even exist in Valmiki Ramayana. Lakshman Rekha exists in the concept of Tulsi Krut Ramayana. And then comes Jatayu, who tries to save when Ravan has already abducted Sita. And Ravan is successful to take her to Ashok Vatika and place her over there. Jatayu is killed. Bhagavan eventually finds Sugriv and kills Bali. Bhagavan decides to send Hanumanji to Lanka. Over there, Hanumanji is caught because of Brahmastra, because he respects Brahmastra. But Ravan has a slightly different plan. Ravan doesn't respect Brahmastra. And after seeing that, Hanumanji doesn't respect Brahmastra either. Brahmastra is a small thread that was binding Hanumanji. And this Brahmastra is extolled by our Acharyas as well in our Grantha. That a small Brahmastra, because Hanumanji respected it, Hanumanji got tied with it. But that Ravan didn't have faith in that small thread and called for all the iron, iron chains. And who could stop that iron? Iron chain would do nothing of Hanumanji. And in rebel, what did Hanumanji do? Hanumanji burnt Lanka. Instead of moving mountains, the seas have been moved over here. The prime example of Ram Nam is more important than Ram. By utilizing Nal and Neel's power of architecture and the shrap given to them by various rishis. Rishis used to have, I'm not sure if you are aware of the stone form of Vishnu, which is called as Shaligram. Shaligrams are the ones that have been originated from a river called as Gandaki, which is in Nepal. Over there you get a lot of Shaligrams. These are all pratyaksha. You don't have to instill them with prana pratishtha. They behave as Vishnu itself. So a lot of Rishi Munis used to carry these, and Nal and Neel were in the habit of throwing them underwater. So they were cursed, stating that, and whichever stone you throw will always be floating. Some people don't believe it. Go and watch Ram Setu, or be like Congress of India. If you didn't get that joke, please follow politics. So Nal and Neel make Setu Bandham. Sri Ramchandra ji's name was more important because with the Ram name, all the stones were also moving. Vanas start fighting and Kumbhkaran comes into the picture. Kumbhkaran is killed. Meghdut is killed. Akshay Kumar is killed. And apart from that, Ravan comes. Meghnath is also killed. Meghnath happens to first harm Lakshman ji. Lakshman is revived by the Jadi Booty of Himalayas. And then Ravan is also killed. If you ask me why did Ravan die, there's only one statement to it. Ati Garva. Ati refers to beyond a certain measure. And Garva refers to ego. And yes, Ravan did have ego. I am something. And when you have an ego, now consider yourself to be 10-headed. Dasha Anana. Dasha plus Anana. Dasha refers to 10. Anana refers to heads. Ramchandra ji goes back, ensures that Vibhishan is the one who is the king now. Ramchandra ji goes back, Ram Rajya happens. Eventually Sita ji goes to the same place where she originated from. Sita ji enters the Bhumi and people remember the various Leelas that Ramchandra ji has done. In Śrīmad Bhāgavad ji, there are 4 places where Shukdev ji Maharaj does pranam. The The first one we saw yesterday was Rishabdev. The second one was Mohini. Third is Matsya. And the fourth one is Sri Ramchandraji. Now in the Ikshvaku dynasty, Sri Ramchandraji has children called Love and Kush. So their dynasties have been spoken about. Yayati has been spoken about. If you might have heard of sage Parshuram, Parshuramji has been spoken about. Parshuramji had ensured that there are no Kshatriyas left in the world. Then Yayati has been spoken about. All these Leelas, you might have heard of Dushyant and Shakuntala as well. Their famous love is in the form of books. Shakuntal, Abhignan Shakuntal, is a very beautiful Sanskrit play which has been written. But I'll bring to attention to a king called as Rantidev. And why am I speaking about Rantidev so much instead of the other kings? If you want to learn mercy and compassion, Rantidev is the way forward. Rantidev even landed up giving the last bit of morsel that he had and the last glass of water that he had to the people in need. These were none other than the Devis and Devatas who had come to him during the famine to test whether Rantidev is the true king or not, who thinks about his praja, who thinks about his people, who thinks about the people who are in his kingdom. And eventually Rantidev is blessed. You want to learn the art of compassion? That's the avatar, that's the Raja that you should look forward to. Then there are Anu, Dhruyu, Dhruvasu, Yadu. Various dynasties have been spoken about. Yadu is the kul where Bhagavan is also going to be incarnated. One of the reasons why Bhagavan has been born, you have already heard in Bhagavad Gita, Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya Glanir Bhavati Bharata. A similar slok is propounded in Bhagavad Gita as well. Whenever Dharma requires re-establishment, Bhagavan is going to come back. Now a lot of people might have a question. Right now as well, Dharma reads re-establishment. Why has Bhagavan come till now? Bhagavan is already sitting in the form of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavan doesn't need to come yet. The day there is no Bhagavan's name, there is no Bhagavad Gita, there is no Bhakti left on this planet Earth, at that time Bhagavan will take the Kalki avatar and Bhagavan will come and fight. Don't worry, the arrangement is already made. The location is decided, the time is decided, the family is also decided where Bhagavan is going to incarnate. To know more, come on the last day. With this, we conclude Skanda 9. I still have good amount of time. I know I have to do Krishna Avatar. Don't worry, we are entering the space of Skanda 10, which happens to be the heart of Bhagavan Srinathji, heart of Bhagavan Shri Krishna, concluding the Ishanu Katha Leela over here and entering Nirodh. We'll take Bhagavan's name and take the Katha forward. Shri Govardhan Nath ki jai. Bhai, tu હવે stable થઈ જાને. ત્રિદુઃખમ સહનમ ધૈર્યમ અમને આવું ષોડશ ગ્રંથમાં ભણાવવામાં આવે. આધિદૈવિક, આધિભૌતિક અને આધ્યાત્મિક પ્રકારના દુઃખોને સહન કરવાની શક્તિ, એનું નામ ધૈર્ય. અલબેલા સજન આયો રી મોરા અતિવર સુખ પાયો રી અલબેલા. If you are expecting me to hold and sit, now you have very wrong expectations. I'm not a comedian. छोड़ा वो पकड़ी में बस. You have done the part of Chaturvishya. Remember? Chaturvishya, 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 Trivistatha. Remember that shlok? That you all do the part in the start. So Chaturvishya, 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 Trivistatha. क्या હતો તું આટલી વાર?
I think it might be the cable, honestly.
It's okay, it's fine, let it be now.
Also tape what?
Nothing, તું જા, તું બેસ તું. હાલે બસ. હા પછી કથા પછી કરી દે. Adhyay 10. This is considered to be the heart of Śrīmad Bhāgavad Gita. It is said that Sri Shukdev Ji Maharaj is not reciting this katha. It's Bhagavan himself who has entered the heart of Shukdevji Maharaj, and this Katha is being recited. Now there was this one question. In the entire Bhagavad Katha, there is no mentioning of Radhaji. Shukdevji's guru is Sri Radhaji. Shukdevji's guru is Sri Radhaji. Sri Radhaji happens to be the one who is given the Leela Varnan, the expansion of the entire Leela to Shukdevji Maharaj. Whenever the word Radha comes into the picture for Shukdevji Maharaj has only give Radha word is an indication. In the word in the mode of Radhas or Radhaya, he never directly recites the word Radha, because we are not supposed to say our Gurudev's name openly. And second, Shri Krishna refers to Radha Yukta Krishna. We are not that population who takes Radha Radha Naam the way Premanandji Maharaj quotes in his Instagram reels or YouTube reels. We are that sect which does Radha's seva and Radha's name in a very subtle and a private way, because Radha is extremely beloved of Bhagavan Shri Krishna and is not supposed to be worshipped publicly. The way you wouldn't give your business secret to anyone outside is the same way the ultimate element of the universe, which is loved by Bhagavan Shri Krishna, is not supposed to be dealt in public. राधा राधा नाम जपत है जो नर आठो याम, इनकी बाधा दूर करत है राधा राधा नाम. राधा नाम में सकल जिंदगानी लागे, मने प्यारो प्यारो / कारो कारो यमुना जी नो पानी लागे. This is what you sing in your daily Dhodpad. So this Bhagavan Shri Krishna is Radha Yukta only, Swamini ji Yukta only. Hence, you won't be finding me using the word Radha henceforth. I'll be using the code word called Swamini ji. If you understand what it is, good for you. If you don't, Google it yourself. Parikshit has questions about Bhagavan Shri Krishna's birth. Kathito taro bhavata soma suryayoho. Bhagavan has an amazing character. Bhagavan is awesome. And we need to listen more about Dharma Shilasya Nitara Muni Sattama. In this case, Parikshit wants to hear, on the contrary, how he heard Ram Leela. He heard Ram Leela in 2 adhyayas. Parikshit wants to hear Krishna Leela in detail. He wants to hear about all the divine activities that he has done. So all those people who are waiting, Shri Ji ki Katha kab tak aayegi, kab se aayegi, now is the time. This is where Śrīmad Ji's Katha will start. But if you all will stay so sad, Thakur Ji will also be extremely sad. You know, you sound like that. I mean, in my school now, when someone's birthday was there, they were forced to clap and they were forced to sing that happy birthday song. And they would get that one toffee in return. Your faces are exactly like that right now. वो इंडिया जीतना होगा जीतेगा, पाकिस्तान जीतना होगा जीतेगा, आप इतना टेंशन छोड़ो, कृष्ण का प्राकट्य होने वाला है, आनंद करो, मौज करो, मस्ती में रहो, क्या पता कल हो ना हो. You are at least getting a chance to eat and drink. Parikshit has left water and food and is extreme on the verge of knowing Bhagavan Shri Krishna's Katha. In Gujarati, we say Talaveli. Excitement. And this Katha is a very good substitute of your physical food. Bhagavan Shri Krishna's Katha has such a great appetite, you won't even feel hungry. I am not saying this. Parikshit is saying that. Bhumi has a request. Bhumi in the form of cow again goes to Bhagavan. Bhagavan, please come down. A lot of trouble has increased on me. A lot of people have born. A lot of people are doing things that they're not supposed to. Do some arrangement. And then comes the city of Mathura. King Ugrasen has a daughter called Devaki. Devaki has a brother named Kans. ये तो बराबर याद रहे सब बंदा. Kans definitely people will remember. There's no doubt in that. And Devaki is getting married to whom? Vasudev. While Devaki is getting married to Vasudev, the marriage is done, extravagantly large. Devaki is being personally escorted back by Kansa. Kansa is the one who's driving the chariot. And at that point of time comes an announcement in the sky called as Akashvani. Devaki, your 8th womb is going to be the cause of Kansa's death. This is the best I can do in translation. દેવકી નો 8મો ગર્ભ તારા મૃત્યુનો કારણ બનશે હે કંસ. This is the statement. And now, before the business deal and after the business deal, the behavior of a person changes. Kans has a flip side. Kans's flip side, now Kans is extremely alert. Kans is going to ensure that Devaki and Vasudeva are captivated. Kans and Devaki are captivated, they are put into a jail, and one by one babies start taking birth. Kans is like, I have to worry about the 8th one. I'm not bothered right now. Naradji comes with a lotus. Naradji explains the concept of 8. Naradji makes the leaves of the petals of the lotus count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and explains this could also be the 8th one, this could also be the 8th one, this could also be the 8th one. Your mathematics is too weak. The motto was not that. The motto was Kans had to do more pap. Now some people will feel, Arey, Naradji did bad karma. Oh, hello. Naradji didn't do bad karma. Naradji did the right karma. Because if Kans won't do pap, what will Thakurji do then? And now, Kans goes back to Vasudevji. Now they are having a conversation. Because Vasudevji was the first one to convince Kans that no, please don't kill my children. And this Kans is a cruel human being. He's a cruel asur. He lands up killing all the babies. He kills 5 babies. Then he kills one more. And now there is extreme wait and patience for the 7th baby to come. Bhagavan is like, this is my elder brother, I'm not going to do anything. I need Sankarshan with me. Gets the baby transferred to another womb. Rohini takes the womb. And now Sankarshan is born, Baldavji is born. Now comes the 8th one. Why the 8th one is here? The Devtas come and extol Bhagavan. Satyaparam, Satyavratam, Satyaparam, Trisatyam. This is the same Satya that was extolled upon at the start of Bhagavad Gita. Satyam Param Dhimai. What is the form of Bhagavan? Bhagavan is Satya. He is above Satya. He is beyond Satya. He is truth ka truth. Multiple times Satya has been mentioned over here. So Devtas are pretty much excited. Why? Because Devtas will come down as well after Bhagavan is going to come down. And now comes the moment where Atha sarva gunopetah kalah paramashovanah yarheva janajanraksham shantarakshak grihatarakam disha prasedurgaganam nirmalo dugunodayam mahi mangala bhuishta puragrama vrajakaraha. I am not reciting these sloks for you. I am reciting these 4 sloks for Thakurji. Because these are the same 8.5 sloks that are recited at the midnight when Thakurji incarnates. सब कुछ आपके लिए नहीं होता, हमें भी हमारी भक्ति देखनी होती है. This is the moment, this is the auspicious time when Thakurji is going to appear. The entire universe is going through a different charm and time altogether. All the celestial bodies, planets, stars, etc. have become calm, favorable. See, a lot of time you might have heard of astrologers saying Shani ki saya hai, Mangal ki maya hai, etc. etc. All of that is null and void in front of Thakurji's incarnation right now. And the time has also been in the favor of Bhagavan's incarnation. Apart from that, all the directions have become pleasant. Generally, the direction of south, which is considered to be the direction of death, is also pleasant for Bhagavan. Stars have started appearing in the sky. It's spreading light. Cities, households, minds, etc. also have a positive environment. They have enthusiasm. The rivers have clean water in it. The lakes, reservoirs have flowers in it, lotuses in it, are spreading good smell. You know how lotus smells. The trees are full of green plants. Flowers and leaves are very pleasing to eyes. The birds are also chirping with a good sound. The sweet voices of the demigods is also sounding like music right now. The wind is extremely pleasant. The wind is extremely pleasant. Till that extent, remember one thing, the smell is being carried by the wind. So now look at the complement. Let's just say if you are in extreme heat and someone sprinkles rose water on you, how would you feel? You would feel pleasant. That's exactly the role of air right now because it is Thakurji's Prakrityas time. How are your minds? Your minds are extremely excited right now. They are filled with joy. Sadhus are feeling extremely content. Brahmans are feeling extremely content. And musical instruments start playing. Pakhavat starts playing. Dundubi starts playing. Brahmans even do Swasti Vachan. Brahmans even do Swasti Vachan. Swasti na Indro. Swasti na Bhukha Vishwavedaha. Arishtanemi Swasti no Brihaspati Dadhatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Kinnars, Gandharvas, Siddhacharan, Vidyadhar, Apsaras, all of these are dancing, singing, reciting, rejoicing, enjoying, singing auspicious songs. Why? Because it is going to be the moment for the Thakurji to appear. Mumuchur Muneo Devaha, Sumanao Simudanvitaha. And then there are droplets of the rain. How are the rains? Peaceful, calm, slowly, steadily. Mandam Mandam Jaladhara. The Devatas have appeared in the sky. Why? Because this is the moment where we don't want to miss out when Thakurji is going to be incarnated. The grey clouds, the lightning around it, the sound of the ocean, the waves are all pleasant. And at 12:40, Nishite Tama Udbhute, Jayamane Janardane, Devakyam Vishnu Rupinyam, Vishnu Sarvaguhashayah, Avirasi Yatha Pracham, Dishinduriva Pushkalaha. At 12:40 at night, Sri Thakurji incarnates in the womb of Devaki ji. And from that, Thakurji takes the form of a small baby, said, Tamadbhutam Balakamam Bhujekshanam, Chaturbhujam Shanka Gada Yudayudam. This is the same Balak who was now standing as four-handed Vishnu, as four-handed Bhagavan, is now taking the form of a small Balak and is being extolled by Devaki ji and Vasudev ji. This is when Bhagavan Shri Krishna incarnates. कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की जय, कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की जय, कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की जय. What we sing in Gujarati? આજે ઠાકોરજી પધાર્યા મારે આંગણીએ. I probably will translate in Hindi for you. Bhagavan Shri Krishna is now incarnated in Mathura. Devaki ji and Vasudev ji are going to ensure that they are extolling Bhagavan. Mansi Puja of Bhagavan takes place. And then eventually, Thakur ji gets into a small vessel and Shri Vasudev ji, all the soldiers are sleeping, the jail has broken. Vasudev ji starts moving towards Yamuna ji. While walking in Yamuna ji is increasing her level. Vasudev ji is trying to put Thakur ji away. But Yamuna ji is waiting to do the Charan Sparsh of Bhagavan. As soon as Shri Yamuna ji does Charan Sparsh of Bhagavan, there's way for Shri Vasudev ji. And the Sheshna comes up as an umbrella to protect Shri Thakur ji. And that's how Shri Thakur ji reaches from Mathura to Nandrai ji's place. And a baby girl is taken, who is the form of Yog Maya, is taken back to Kans's place. And at the jail, everything is shut. And the minute the girl comes there, she starts making the sound. Kans gets the whiff of it. Kans comes over there, takes the girl, despite of multiple requests by Devaki and Vasudev to stop. He doesn't stop, smashes the girl against the wall. The minute he tries to smash, the girl slips, the baby slips, and the Ambika form, the Yogamaya form comes out and says, your enemy has already incarnated. And in the meantime, in Gokul, Gokul Maj Diwali, Gokul Maj Diwali, Pragat Thaya Vanmali, Pragat Thaya Vanmali, Gokul Ma.
Gokul Maj Diwali, Pragat Thaya Vanmali, Pragat Thaya Vanmali, Gokul Ma.
And this is where I pause my own Katha, because me singing and reciting won't make sense as much as the gopis coming to Nandrai ji and giving badhai that Thakur ji has been born. And they start singing Nandagera Nanda Bhayo, Nandagera Nanda Bhayo, Yashoda ko Lal Bhayo, नंद घेरा नंद भयो, हाथी दिने घोड़ा दिने, नंद घेरा नंद भयो, नंद घेरा नंद भयो. थोड़ी ताड़ी, if you could contribute with your claps now, you will feel blissful. Otherwise, you will feel like what is happening over here. So start contributing a lot more with your talis. પેલા સાધુવાડું લઈ લો થોડી વાર માટે. સાધુવાડું લઈ લો. હમણાં સાધુવાડું નંદઘેર આનંદ લઈ લો થોડી વાર માટે. પછી લેશો બધું.
નંદઘેર આનંદ ભયો જય કનૈયા લાલ કી.
हाथी दीने घोड़ा दीने और नंद घेरा नंद भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की.
नंद घेरा नंद भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की. हाथी दिए घोड़ा दिए और दिए पालकी,
हाथी दिए घोड़ा दिए और दिए पालकी,
भोली भोली गोपी आई जय कन्हैया लाल की.
भोली भोली
फूले गोप आए जय कन्हैया लाल की।
फूले फूले गोप आए जय कन्हैया लाल की।
फूले फूले ब्रह्मा आयो जय कन्हैया लाल की।
फूले फूले जय कन्हैया लाल की।
फूले फूले ब्रह्मा आयो जय कन्हैया लाल की।
फूले फूले ब्रह्मा आयो जय कन्हैया लाल की। नंद भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की। नंद घेरा नंद भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की। नंद भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की। यशोदा को लाल भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की। नंद भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की। नंद घेरा नंद भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की। जान जान लो जान जो कन्हैया लाल की। नंद घेरा नंद भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की। नंद घेरा नंद भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की। हाथी लिए घोड़ा लिए और लिए पाल की।
भूलो भूलो ब्रह्मा आयो जय कन्हैया लाल की।
अरे भूलो भूलो ब्रह्मा आयो जय कन्हैया लाल की।
भूलो भूलो शंकर आए जय कन्हैया लाल की।
भूलो भूलो कन्हैया लाल की। नंद भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की। नंद घेरा नंद भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की। नंद घेरा नंद भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की। नंद घेरा नंद भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की। हाथी घोड़ा लिए और लिए पालवा। हाथी लिए घोड़ा लिए और लिए पाल की। नंद घेरा नंद भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की। नंद घेरा नंद भयो जय कन्हैया। तुम्हें पकड़ लिए और लिए पाल की। लिए घोड़ा लिए और लिए पाल की। नंद भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की। नंद घेरा नंद भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की। नंद घेरा नंद भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की। नंद घेरा नंद भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की। नंद घोड़ा लिए और लिए पाल की। हाथी लिए घोड़ा लिए और लिए पाल की। नंद घेरा नंद भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की। नंद घेरा नंद भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की। नंद भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की। नंद घेरा नंद भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की। नंद घेरा नंद भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की। घेरा जय कन्हैया लाल। हाथी लिए घोड़ा लिए और लिए पार। स्वर मंगाओ। जैसी जैसी नंद भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की। जय कन्हैया लाल। जान जा पकड़ जान जा पाल कन्हैया लाल की। जय कन्हैया लाल की। जय कन्हैया लाल की। जय कन्हैया लाल की। जय कन्हैया लाल की। भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की। नंद घेरा नंद जय कन्हैया लाल की। अन्न भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की। नंद भयो जायो जय कन्हैया लाल की। नंद भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की। जय कन्हैया लाल की। कन्हैया लाल की। जय कन्हैया लाल की। जय कन्हैया लाल की। जय कन्हैया लाल की। हेलो हेलो। नंद कन्हैया लाल की। जय कन्हैया लाल की। कन्हैया लाल की, जय कन्हैया लाल की, जय कन्हैया लाल की, जय कन्हैया लाल की।
लड्डू दो नंद बाबा लड्डू दो,
लड्डू दो लड्डू दो नंद राजा लड्डू दो,
लड्डू दो नंद बाबा लड्डू दो,
लड्डू दो नंद बाबा लड्डू दो।
ब्राह्मण को दान दिए बूढ़न को लापसी,
ब्राह्मण को दिए ब्राह्मण को लापसी।
नंद मेरा नंद भयो,
जय कन्हैया लाल की,
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 हाथी ने घोड़ा लिए,
जय कन्हैया लाल की।
हाथी ने घोड़ा लिए,
बोलने के पाल की,
हाथी ने घोड़ा लिए,
बोल लिए पाल की,
नंद मेरा नंद भयो,
जय कन्हैया लाल की,
नंद मेरा नंद भयो, नंद मेरा नंद भयो,
जय कन्हैया लाल की,
नंद मेरा नंद भयो,
जय कन्हैया लाल की,
हाथी ने घोड़ा लिए,
जय कन्हैया पाल की,
हाथी ने घोड़ा लिए,
और लिए पाल की,
नंद मेरा नंद भयो,
जय कन्हैया लाल की,
यशोदा को लाल भयो,
जय कन्हैया लाल की,
यशोदा को लाल भयो,
जय कन्हैया लाल की,
बाबू जी को गाता भयो,
जय कन्हैया लाल की,
नंद को आनंद भयो,
जय कन्हैया लाल की,
नंद को आनंद भयो,
जय कन्हैया लाल की। हेरी आज नंद राय ओ आज नंद लाल
राय के आनंद भयो, हेरी भैया हो
आज नंद
राय के
आनंद भयो नाचत गोपी करत कुलाहला मंगल चार भैया हो आज नंद भयो राती तेरी चोली पहरे दाना अंग लगाए होवा चंदन अंग लगाए मान संभारे हरि भैया हो माखन दूध माखन दूध यो भारी भाग माखन आए माखन बाजत बहन बाजत बाजत बेन पवाज महुआ बाजत गीता सुधाय जया हो आज नराय के हरद दूब अक्षत दधी कुंकुमा आंगन दवाड़ी गाय देना ही आहे मुहाल बघा भैया हो आज नंद राय के चाहूँ दे चाहूँ वेद ध्वनि करत महामुनि शताब्द धमढोल पंच शब्द धमढोल परमानंद बरो गोकुल में परमानंद बरो गोकुल में कलो भैया हो आज नंदना नंदराय के हाँ थोड़ी सुर में गाइए ग्वाल देते एक तो ऊंचो लेते गाता में घर ग्वाल दे बांसुरी ढोल दमामा बेरी जान जान वगैरह के जान वगैरह मिठाई कहीं ना तुम ब्रजमनिता सब घेरी घर 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 ग्वाल देता है
जय जय कृष्ण कहत परमानंद जय जय कृष्ण कहत परमानंद सको हाँ बच्ची प्रसाद खाते मच्छी पर लेडीज से खाली उसे रखे हिना के खबर हिना आज हिना हिना तू क्या जा हिना के खबर तू जा जा हाँ यहाँ से हिना जा 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 आ हिना जो उभी चुरी गाल नाचे નાચે ગોપી હા ખબર છે પણ મારો કેટલું ઊંચું મને ગાવાય ને મારાથી